Okay, everybody, what is up? What is up? Good to see you here. Let's get a little music going as we warm up for the night. Thank you guys for coming out to a very important stream. Tonight, we will be raising money, as you know, for the SOTO family. Crazy time for the camera to go out. 1 second. There we go. All right, gang. So like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by myself, tonight we will be raising money for the SOTO family. I am going to get us a cheeky little pinned comment going here. Two things that we really want to do tonight. We want to get signatures. We want to hit 10,000 signatures for Martin. There's less than 500 to go. So we're almost there. Now the other thing we want to do tonight, gang, is Martin could really use letters of personal relation. So what that means is he could use people that write letters vouching for how much he means to the community and how much he means to us. So you don't have to have met Martin to do that. You can have met Gabriella. So tonight you will be meeting Gabriella. We're gonna go through our story. We're gonna go through her whole story, how she met Martin, what their life has been like, and then we're gonna write letters. I'm gonna show you how to do this, and we're gonna do it together. I'll write mine in front of you guys, and we'll try to get those letters for them as well. The more we can do to help out with Martin, the more momentum we can gain to potentially free everybody who's in detention. A lofty goal, yeah. But that's what we do. We do lofty goals and we try to reach those things. We try to make the world a better place. So, Gabriella will be joining me in about a half hour or so. She's got to finish up the kid stuff right now. You know how that goes. So we've got a story or two that we're going to cover before she gets here, okay? Two things I want to cover with you guys. Oh, by the way, we will also be going over the murder of Lorenzo Salgado. So don't worry, we're going to be talking about that. And Gabriella's going to give us her unique perspective on that as well. It's something that she wants to talk about. And as she's been finding her voice, fighting for Delaney Hall, I myself am very, very much looking forward to hearing what she has to say about this. So we'll be talking about that Two stories I want to cover, though, before she gets here. We'll see if we have time to cover both of them. Okay? Neo-Nazis are now unemployable. We love that. And somebody came up with an anti-woke school curriculum, and it failed. It's already failed. So why don't we talk about the neo-Nazi who's become unemployable? Because that would really be a lovely direction for us to see more things head, wouldn't it? So let's jam on this for a minute while we wait for our guest of honor to join us, and we get into the real meat and potatoes of things. But hey, it's a fine day to hear that a Nazi is unemployable after a salute during a Holocaust movie. Gee, I wonder what kind of salute it was. Jeez Louise. So this is Nathan Bull, which, again, that just sounds like a fictionalized name for a Nazi. Nathan Bull. Like, that sounds like a character from a Tarantino movie or some shit. So a white supremacist was found guilty of performing a Nazi salute during a film about the Holocaust. He says his political beliefs make him unemployable. Oh, is that so? That must be so difficult for you. That must be so difficult for you as you try to navigate this world. Yeah, he was giving out his heart. He was doing the classic, guys. I don't know why everybody has a problem with Elon Musk references in the middle of public. You know, what's wrong with the little Elon Musk reference? Right, GTA? By the way, good to see you, GTA. Good to see you, Ajax, and good to see you, Big Jerry. Thank you guys for being here. Oh, and thank you. Yes, the InfoWars is out today. I appreciate you. Look, I appreciate you being here, putting the work in while there's such fine sillies on offer tonight. I appreciate you doing everything you can here. So apparently Nathan Bull is upset because his beliefs have made him a bit of a difficult hire. And I guess he wants some sympathy. So he's a self-proclaimed neo-Nazi. Nathan Bull was found guilty of performing a prohibited salute at Cinema Nova in Carlton in Melbourne's inner north by Magistrate Stella Stuthridge on Monday. Okay? Australian Nazi then. Bull was charged after he and others disrupted a screening of The Zone of Interest by making Nazi salutes and mocking Holocaust atrocities on March 9th, 2024. Why do you even have to bring that out into public? Can't you don't want to just do that at home? Yo, I thought the movies were bad enough as it is, because you go to the movies, you're already going to be paying like $20 just for the popcorn, right? And then you got to deal with, I thought it was just like, oh, sticky seats, right? A little bit of bubble gum. Maybe somebody's chatting during the film. Now you got to deal with neo-Nazis at the movie theaters. No wonder the theater's dead. No amount of Nicole Kidman commercials is going to be able to save this. So the Zone of Interest follows the horrifying daily life of Auschwitz Commandant Rudolf Höss and his family, who built an idyllic domestic life in a house directly adjacent to the Auschwitz concentration camp. Yikes. I mean, that's crazy to be going to that film and being like, yo, I'm excited to see the horrors in this film. So 6 witnesses testified, including the cinema patrons and staff, in a 2-day contested hearing in May. Bull represented himself in court on Monday and was asked by the magistrate whether he thought he should be sentenced with or without conviction. Yo, that's crazy. He's going to represent himself too? No, I mean, look, I've never known a Nazi to be smart, but this is ridiculous. Don't represent yourself, you dummy. Maybe that's why he thought he could get away with the salute. Who's going to see it in the movie theater? GTA, great point. Like, they're very they try to be discreet about it. You know, that's such an interesting point too. Like, you're doing it in the movie theater where nobody can see you and all that shit. Or, I mean, you'd think nobody can see you, but people saw you. But, like, they always try to be, like, coy about it. Like, that's what Elon was doing when he did the, oh, my heart goes out to you. In a way that nobody's ever done that. A phrase that, like, basically no one says unless, like, somebody has died in your family or something. Like, why? It's always a little dance. These neo-Nazis are absolute dancers. They dance around the reality of what they believe in. Their life is finding statuesque salutes, finding ways to stand and move in formation. They are just bigoted dancers. I never realized that about neo-Nazis. The Patriot Front guys, they were all in matching costume. They are all about the pageantry. There's something there. There's something there. They don't own their hate. They have to couch it. Yeah, 100%. They have to couch it. JD Vance style. They take their hate, they put it in the couch, and then they love that couch down. All right. Anyway, the 24-year-old, so this is Nathan Bull representing himself in court. He said his job prospects have already been badly affected because of his far-right political beliefs. Can you believe that? Like, I mean, I don't know why they're so surprised by it, because it's like, any job you think of, it's like, yeah, I don't want you ringing groceries, doing Nazi salutes. Well, I don't want you working the phone lines, doing cold calls, trying to sell some shit, and then being like, can I tell you about the new Third Reich or whatever neo-Nazi shit you're on, you know? He says, it's quite difficult to get a job, obviously, because of who I am, he told the court. They can just Google me, and they don't want the issues that it comes with being pulled up by communists, saying that they have a Nazi working for them or the police showing up. Yo, I love how these guys always try to make it like, yeah, it's just communists who hate Nazis. That's all. Like, it's so weird, because if it wasn't for the communists, if it wasn't for these extreme communists, people would actually be down with it. But communism is just so prevalent and accepted that it is the major function of the United States, and that's what's keeping you down. Sorry, buddy. It's not adding up. That Nazi math ain't doing too good. I don't want to. Well, no, I do want to be the one to tell you. I love to be the one to tell you. Boy, it does make me happy. Yeah, Kermit, they cower in fear if their masks get ripped up. 100%. It's so interesting. All the dudes at Delaney Hall, all the ICE guys there, they all have their masks on, except for, like, I think, like, there's always, like, a sergeant or someone who's in charge of shit who's, like, always cool with having their mask off. I would assume they're, like, ex-military or some shit. Like, and, you know, they're okay with having their face exposed and all that. Because that's the kind of career line they're going to be into. But a lot of these guys are failures. They know as soon as the ICE surge is over and stuff, and they're not really needed, they're not going to be qualified to be, like, you know, on the police force or, you know, in a combat role or anything anywhere, really, you know? So I think that's a big reason why they had their identity. And then also these guys, like, who work at Geo Group come in with their masks covered up and shit too. With their faces covered up, you know, in their cars with their license plates and everything, but, like, you know, with their faces covered. So it's just, it's silly. But, like, they don't want to stand by what they say. They don't want to stand by what they believe in. It's quite interesting. So, Bull did not apologize for his actions during the court proceedings. Yeah, he wants to stand by it. He wants to really rock with it, and that's why no one is gonna rock with him. So here's him having his cheeky little orange juice walking down the street there. He was sentenced to 6-month community corrections, including 125 hours of unpaid work. Nice. Yeah, Kermit. All hate, no follow through. It's absolutely. All hate, no follow through is a great way to summarize these guys. Police prosecutor Jessica McCartney said she believed a conviction would be in order given the gravity of the offending. What would they convict him with? Ms. Stuthridge ruled Bull's ongoing court cases and political views had a dramatic impact on his employability and decided to sentence him without a conviction. I mean, but that's not like, yeah. Okay. The court case and his political views have a dramatic impact on his employability because people don't want that hate at the place that they're hiring. That's a self-imposed thing there. All he has to do, like, you know, all he has to do is learn to be okay with more people. What's up, Cinemy? Welcome. Thank you for coming out tonight. We appreciate you. We're going to have Gabriella Soto joining us in about 15 minutes or so. So thank you very much for coming out. Right now, we're talking about this neo-Nazi who's very, very sad that he's unemployable right now. So, Miss Soothridge, let's see, which one is Soothridge? So Miss Soothridge ruled Bull's ongoing court cases and political views had a dramatic impact on his employability and decided to sentence him without a conviction. Okay, that was the judge there. I think a conviction could only add to those difficulties, Miss Soothridge said. I mean, yeah, but like, if you got these hateful views that are harmful to society, then I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, I'm not about throwing people in the slammer or anything, but I guess 6-month community, 125 hours of unpaid work. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Fuck a Nazi. I would like to see him, in my soul, doing hard labor. But I don't know what the best move. What is the best move for society in that regard? Like, what do we do to change this? I don't think you could change away a guy like this thinks, especially since, like he's saying, oh, it's impossible for me to find employment. Like, he's just going to complain and complain and complain. I think he's going to stand by this. I don't know. Previously witnessed Daphne Mohajer, Daphne Mohajer Va Pesseron. I really hope I got that right. Apologies for fumbling through that like a goddamn butterfinger. They told Melbourne Magistrates Court the film focused on a concentration camp's manager's mundane life set against the horror occurring nearby. She said she noticed a rowdy group of 5 when they first entered the small cinema and witnessed them laugh and snicker during a scene that depicted human loss. Yo, the most annoying people in the world, Nazis, just like fucking like 13-year-olds. Like, literally, they have the belief of 13-year-olds. They act like little 13-year-olds. A lot of times they look like 13-year-olds. Look at this guy. She said she noticed a rowdy group of 5. Quote, it felt like they were excited to be there. They were egging each other on and announced to the cinema that we'd been lied to, that the Holocaust didn't happen. Jesus Christ. She said the group seated in the front row stood up and announced to the audience that, quote, Hitler was a great guy and he didn't do anything wrong. Literally the biggest edgelord losers ever. Like, this is what middle schoolers dare each other to do in a movie theater. And then you're supposed to look back on that when you're an adult and be like, wow, I hated that I did that. That was one of the most fucked up things I ever did. I don't know why. And this is what these guys do as adults. She said the group said all that shit, and another witness, Richard Schultz, said he saw 2 members of the group, made up of 4 men and 1 woman, perform a Nazi salute in the cinema. Bull wore a black Helly-Hansen polo shirt and cord, a clothing brand far-right extremists have appropriated because of the prominent HH logo is interpreted as an abbreviation for Heil Hitler. Like, yo, everything is just this little cosplay performance. It's such pageantry. It's such a show. Jeez Louise. Yeah, GTA. Remember when the Nazis were the baddies? I know. And now it's like who we live amongst. It's who we live amongst half the time. But, the thing is, it becomes, you might get worried that these guys are going to try to like infiltrate institution, things like that, because that's definitely a goal that they have. And if you find yourself concerned with that, you don't really have to be, because A, they're dumb as a bag of bricks. We know this though. Okay. I don't have to explain that to you, but B, they actually get their hands on shit sometimes and get to try to put it into motion. And typically, when they take an attempt, when they try to make something stick, it flops and flounders and just absolutely does not work. And that would be the case in the next story we have of an anti-woke school curriculum. West Virginia spent $3 million to create a university program to fight woke ideology, and only 1 student is enrolled. Okay? If that sounds like one of the dumbest things you've ever heard, You are an astute observer of reality. So, this is like crazy. State lawmakers mandated the center's creation despite recent budget troubles at the university. Absolutely wild. So again, these white nationalists, these fucking crazy people, they get their hands on institution at times. But really nobody goes for it. I hope to God they got an interview with this one student. I really would love to hear from him. So just one student is reportedly enrolled at a new West Virginia University center designed to push back on woke ideology ahead of its opening this fall. Now, whenever they try to associate like woke ideology and anti-woke sentiment with like universities or education, it never works, because education is not woke. I mean, the thing is, like, you'll be talking about math or some shit, which is like, 2 + 2 = 4. I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with the woke agenda there, right? So whenever this shit gets pointed at schools, it never really sticks. That's why PragerU shit doesn't stick on anything, right? They try to put it in schools, like nobody actually fucking uses that shit, except for some extremists. I'm sure there's some extremists out there who do genuinely use the stuff, but typically within institution, these things flop as hard as they possibly can. Yeah, Ajax, they'll make their money back in 10,000 years at that rate. Great investment. 100%. What if it's a lefty looking to document? What do you mean? Oh, the one person. I got what you mean. Like, what if the one person enrolled is just like some lefty looking to document it and make like a YouTube video? I hope so. I really hope so. I hope it's like a big Nathan Fielder thing that we end up hearing about. That would be amazing. So anyway, they just got this one student enrolled in this woke ideology pushback class, okay? And they're saying, I'm not happy about it. That's what Democratic state lawmaker John Williams told West Virginia Watch. Because he's saying, now we're in a position where we've allocated so much money towards this program and only one person is taking advantage of it. Now, I will say $3 million, typically, college is expensive, but that's not really going to be covered by one person's tuition, okay? Especially when we're talking about a state university, all right? That's you're talking, you need a lot more than one. I'll just say that. I'm no math man. I'm no book learning man, but that's what I think. So the Independent has contacted the university for comment. Let's see if they got it. In 2025, Republican lawmakers mandated the creation of the Hub, the Washington Center for Civics, Culture, and Statesmanship, allocating $3 million in support. Wow. Just pissing that money away. Can you imagine what you can do to help your community with $3 million? I'm sure all of us can. So at that time, Governor Patrick Morrisey said the center would focus on classics and American civics, quote, to push back on the woke ideology that has infected our schools and help return higher education to its purpose. Now, the other thing is that I find so funny about all this. Why do you need so much money to study the classics and American civics? American classics are in like the public domain now at this point, right? Like most of them, you barely even need those books. There's access to those words all over the place. So like, I really don't really know what this is for. $3 million sounds like a lot for shit that's all in the public domain. The Hub, yeah, I don't know why they called it the Hub. It's a confused Gooner student. Oh, the one student enrolled saw the Hub. It's like, oh, this class takes place at the Hub. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm gonna see Betsy Ross get wild on the flag. Let's go. that would be. I wouldn't put it past them. We live in a society. We do indeed live in a society. So, Cinemy, what's a hub? Oh my gosh, Cinemy, I have to do this right now. All right, I have to tell you what the hub is. When a mommy and daddy love each other very much, or like they might not even be a mommy and daddy, they might not even be, they might not be parents. They might not be. It could be a mommy and a mommy. It could be, you know what? Take the gender out of it. You know what? It could be anybody. When two people feel a sort of way about each other, they can go make a great deal of money, a great sum of money on the web, on the internet. Typically they will upload these videos of coitus to a website called Cornhub. Replace the C with the P, and it has affectionately been referred to in many walks of life as the hub. So if something is referred to as the hub, it many times for brain rotted individuals will equate instantly to this online center for coitus vids. Does that make sense? I'm sorry I did that. That was unnecessary, but necessary as hell. You like that? You like that description? We kept it PG. We kept it family friendly. Okay, that's. We kept it scientific. Okay, I'm not here to use crass language and talk about like dongs and tallywhackers. Okay, we'll say gonads. Scientific terminology is what we will use. Anyway, what the fuck was this article about? At the time, Governor Patrick Morrisey said the center would focus on classics and American civics to push back on the woke ideology that has infected our schools and help return higher education to its true purpose. BD Dragon units. Oh my gosh, now I can't. The chat has got me. I'm lost in the sauce. Holy moly. All right, so say peepees and vajayjay. Oh my, you got me. I'm a child. You got me. Dinglings and hoo-haws. All right, enough of that. We're trying to talk about a serious issue here. Okay. How are we gonna stop people from becoming woke? If $3 million doesn't do it, I mean, what are we gonna do here? We have to incorporate the youth culture some way. Bad dragons for freedom? I don't know. There's something there. That we need to make a trad wife bad dragon. Like it's a bad dragon for the trad wife crowd. How do we do that? Chat, you're on it, okay? I want you to come up with that one. Don't come back to me with it though. Just get rich. What about planting lavender everywhere to make people even sleepier? I love it. I love that idea. I'm all for it. Because I do think if people are sleepier, they will have less problems in the world. Because people generally have less energy. I think that's it. The trad jag. Oh my god, Ajax. Kermit. The trad dragon. That's I can't say. It comes with a sweater. It has a sweater on when you get it. Yo, wait, it's red, white, and blue, and it has a sweater on. Maybe this is why the class didn't work, because even as we did this whole article on this anti-woke education thing, we just started talking about bad dragons, and that doesn't feel like the core goal of this class. Oh, I see, Cinema. You plant the lavender, and the lavender makes people more sleepy, so they're less woke. They don't have that's a great idea. They don't have the energy. They simply don't have the energy to be gay. I think we figured it out. Okay, so they're saying we wanted to teach students how to think, not what to think, and we wanted to ensure that the values that made America great are taught with honesty and pride, Morrissey said in October as he announced the center's new director. Yikes. Should have offered a trad dragon with the course. Okay, the center offers classes on wokeness, the new right. Oh, the new right? Ew, that's just Nazis. The new right? What is the new right? That just means Nazis, right? So the center offers classes on wokeness, the new right, and Western civilization, according to the WVU website. If Cinnamon, I'm so sorry it took me this long to figure out that's what you were doing. Because if lavender makes you sleepy, sleep makes you less awake. I'm dumb. Wow. That was a good one. That was good. That was double good. I like that. Also WVU, that abbreviation is just looks so close to uwu. I know it's not, but it's so close to it visually that it seems almost like it's woke. Okay, call me crazy. Feel free. So, yeah, classes on wokeness, right, Ajax? Like, what is a class on wokeness? Like, most of the time, people can't define wokeness. So, like, what is a class on wokeness? I would love to hear more about that. Defenders of the center say enrollment will pick up once the center's classes can count for a credit towards existing majors at the university. Okay, I mean, like, that's somewhat valid. If they don't count for credits, then why the fuck would you even take them? But still, why are you making $3 million? Okay, let's see. Outside of its curriculum, like, why do you need a whole center for this? That's the thing, too. Why do you need an entire center? This sounds like a couple of classes that you throw in the hot trailer, you know? Like, why do you need a whole center for anti-wokeness? I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go to the center to see what's up. It sounds like a crazy hang. They show. Oh yeah, Cinnamon. It will be propaganda. It will absolutely be propaganda. That's why I want to go. I kind of want to see. I want to see what they're doing. Like, because the best propaganda, like, is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. When you see like a New York Post article, you know, and they're like, "Whoa, Mom Dami is he just communized the apple." It's just funny. I don't know. There's something about that that's funny to me. It has a certain je ne sais quoi. Cinnamon, it feels like the new right is like if someone were to heat up leftover fish in the microwave. Oh, 1000%. Oh, there's nothing worse than yesterday's fish in the microwave. That class has the same appeal. So outside of its curriculum, which some critics saw as an unwarranted imposition on existing faculty, the new center was created at a politically sensitive time for the university. Yo, can you imagine if you're a teacher there and you teach like sociology or some shit, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, you're going to be on the new wokeness class. Okay. You're going to be on the new, what were the other classes they had? Okay. You're going to teach the new right. Like, what degree do you have to be able to teach the new right? I guess a history degree. I guess if you have a history degree, you can teach the new right pretty good, because you're like, guys, we're just doing Nazis. We're just talking Nazis. So a recent 45 million budget shortfall had just contributed to 28 academic majors being cut and hundreds of people losing their jobs. Republican lawmakers across the country have pushed to fight wokeness in schools, ranging from school districts banning and removing certain books, often ones that deal with themes of race and sexuality, to states such as Iowa prohibiting diversity-related coursework. And guys, don't forget, like, Texas and some of these other schools are making the Bible required reading. So it's like, it's not even just that they're removing books from school, they're also forcing books on certain kids. So, like, you know, I saw this great video the other day. Maybe I'll find it and show you guys later. But, like, there was this dad. So basically, there was this dad. Like, a bunch of conservative parents wanted to get Goosebumps out of the schools or something. You know, they were like, I don't want my kids reading Goosebumps because they're going to be obsessed with ghouls and goblins and tales of specters, whatever the fuck. And, you know, this guy came up and he was like, you know, I'm a single dad. You know, I'm a single parent. I can't read. I don't have a good job. And these books My daughter reads these books just for fun. They've encouraged her love of reading. I don't want them to go because if they go, I'm afraid that she's going to lose interest in reading, right? So it's like critically important to have all these books there, not because, like, well, for a lot of reasons, but one of the most important reasons is because kids need to be encouraged to read. And if you don't have books that appeal to all different kids, regardless of who they are, you're not going to have kids who are literate and educated. Not that any of these conservatives give a shit about kids actually being educated. They want them to have no intellectual independence. But if you actually care about children and their development, that is what you want books for. You want them to have all sorts of different books. Downfall of Goosebumps led to the rise of Harry Potter shame in retro. Yeah, well, you're right, Kermit. Goosebumps was my rock solid. Okay, you could never catch me hating on Goosebumps. I'm a Goosebumps believer. R.L. Stein all day. Oh, Michael Miller. They're not victims. If you're illegal, you gotta go. That's an interesting take because if you are here, you gotta go. You gotta go, you little Nazi bootlicker. Boop boop. Okay. Anyway, that being said, Republican lawmakers across the country have pushed the fight for wokeness. So in the Hawkeye State, lawmakers have also mandated students take classes at University of Iowa's Republican-backed Center for Intellectual Freedom, despite low enrollment. Wait. University of Iowa's Center for Intellectual Freedom? Oh, we got to take a look at that. We're absolutely going to be taking a look at that. The Trump administration has led the anti-woke charge, threatening to withhold billions of dollars in federal funding to top universities to extract policy and curriculum changes while cutting off federal partnerships between the military and top universities, which Defense Secretary P.P. Hegseth has called woke breeding grounds of toxic indoctrination. I'm pretty sure Hegseth has been toxically indoctrinated many times. Isn't that one of his biggest problems? Too much toxic indoctrination. Now, I want to hear about this Iowa Center for Intellectual Freedom. What? So, this is Iowa law puts Center for Intellectual Freedom at center of new graduation requirements. The center's advisory council and interim director Luciano De Castro discussed its future after the state designated it to oversee new civics graduation requirements. Whoa. So they're literally making anti-woke a requirement to graduate. Like it's like, in your degree, you have to be well-rounded, right? So you'll get your woke educations like your math, your science, right? Physics, whatever. The woke educations. But then to be balanced, you also need to have your anti-woke educations, your Charlie Kirk 101s, your bootlicking sommelier class, right? Like all these things you need to have to be a well-balanced human in the world, okay? If you just get your typical woke education, you could be doing math problems, you could be writing books. I'm sorry, we have AI now. Why would you ever write a book? So despite low enrollment rates and a lack of interest from students delaying its rollout, classes at the University of Iowa Center for Intellectual Freedom will now be a graduation requirement under new Iowa law. That's insane. Iowa Gov Kim Reynolds signed House File 2800 on June 2nd, and the bill will require students from the UI, Iowa State University, and the University of Northern Iowa to take a 3-credit American history course and a 3-credit American government course beginning fall of 2028. The legislation designates the Center for Intellectual Freedom as the only academic unit at the UI permitted to offer the required American history and government courses. So, they're basically saying, okay, you have to take these courses to graduate, and you can only take them at the Center for Intellectual Freedom. Again, why do we always need a center? Why do we always need a hub? Like, what? Why can't these be taught in the fucking regular classrooms if they have to be taught? which obviously they don't, but that's besides the point. So during a virtual Center for Intellectual Freedom Advisory Council meeting held by the Iowa Board of Regents on Monday, council members discussed the vision for the center and hiring a permanent director. Yo, they don't even have a director and shit. That's wild. I love it. Goosebumps is. Yo, Goosebumps is on. I'm ready for the next. I can't wait to hear what we're going to say about Goosebumps. Hensley also said the board was not anticipating this legislation would be signed this session, but the 2028 implementation date gives the center time to hire a permanent director and develop the curriculum needed to meet the new requirements. Oh, Goosebumps is on YouTube for free? Excuse me? Yo, I might spin it just to hear the fucking theme song of Goosebumps. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. My ADD is wilding right now. My ADD is leading me to the Goosebumps theme song. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. That theme song is nutty good. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that little bass line is fucking too dirty. It's a shame that song is just living on the, I mean, that needs to be somewhere. Like, some like rapper needs to sample that shit so hard, but like really good, not just in a hokey way where it's just like, oh, this is I flipped the Goosebumps. No, like it's gotta go so hard. Somebody has to chop it right. It's kind of like how you know the song by the Black Eyed Peas, Let's Get It Started? You know? Not a song that I like really, but the bass line is stupid good. You know, I love a good. Anyway, so distracted, guys. Sorry. So Hensley also said that the board was not anticipating the legislation would be signed for this session, but the 2028 implementation date gives the center time to hire a permanent director and develop the curriculum needed to meet the new requirements. And that really gives us ample time, she said. And that was the thinking as we talked about hiring the permanent director, that the permanent director would be able to come in and be involved in helping develop the core curriculum. This is like, why dump your money into a whole fucking center if you don't even know what the curriculum is? You don't even have a person to run it. Like, it could not be stupider. Hensley discussed an assessment conducted by the Common Sense Institute, a nonpartisan public policy research organization that reviewed the Center for Intellectual Freedom's programming, operations, and progress as it worked towards becoming a permanent academic center. She said Collins reviewed the market assessment and has long supported incorporating the center into the core curriculum, a goal ultimately reflected in the new law. However, Liz Mathis, a former Democratic member of the Iowa Senate, raised concerns over the mandate. See, she said she struggled to reconcile the center's mission of promoting intellectual freedom with the law requiring students to take its course. And I mean, isn't that just the freedom that like Republicans talk about all the time, right? Like, it's like freedom is this thing where I force you to love my freedom. Like, come on. I hate it. So if we are a center for intellectual freedom, why is it mandatory? That's what Mathis said. Put this law together and it's mandatory that the students had to take this class, but yet we are talking about intellectual freedom. It feels a little disjointed to me, right? So the council discussed how they will appoint a permanent director for the center, emphasizing the need for regent approval. And Hensley said Rachel Boone, the Regent's chief academic affairs officer, should play a central role in the process by serving as a liaison between the search committee and the board. So, like, how do you even find, like, I don't even understand how you find someone to run this thing. How does this work? Like, genuinely, how does this actually work? Cinemy, I'm watching bees buzz around a bush with pomegranate-colored flowers, and they look like an embroidery artwork come to life. That's one of the most magical and whimsical and nicest sentences I've ever heard, and it brings me joy. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, Richard Lowry, He's a University of Texas at Austin associate professor. Okay? He's the chair of the search committee for the center's director, and he said he thinks there needs to be people on the board who are outside of the higher education system to help hire the center's director. And oh boy, what do you think that means? That probably means we got to get some corporate people in here. We got to get some money people in here, okay? I bet you $1 million. It may come as a shock, or you might be surprised to the extent to which there are people who are just going to be inadvertently hostile to anything we are doing, Lowry said. So, okay, your excuse is kind of like, it doesn't matter what we do, people are not going to like it. But is that because of people, or is that because of what you're doing, you dolt? Like, what? Holy moly. So, according to Larry, the original plan was to hire a professional search firm to help recruit candidates, but after that fell through, the advisory council is conducting the search itself. Yeah, I wonder why it fell through. Probably because it's like, that's more money. Everything is money. And they just like piss it away. So interesting. Larry said the council plans to post the position through the region's hiring system and academic job boards before reviewing applications and recommending finalists to the full advisory council. Okay, so applications are due July 30th, and a final recommendation is expected before the Board of Regents September meeting. We're going to be finding out about this soon enough. I kind of really want to see what this Intellectual Freedom Center becomes. The council also discussed pausing classes at the center until July 2028 when the course requirements are scheduled to take effect. Wow. Lowry, however, argued that delaying instruction could create challenges when the center is required to offer courses to a much larger number of students. I don't think you're going to get as many students as you think. The council also discussed pausing, quote, "I would really hate to see us try to scale up to have enough faculty to teach all of these required classes in the fall when they're starting," he said. "The idea of hiring that many people at once is causing me enormous anxiety already. So if we could maybe think about having other classes where they will count for something, where you can go ahead and start having people come in and get their feet wet." So he's like, yo, we got to get people in here because I don't want to hire them all at once. And like, this is just going to be a shit show, man. So what, you're going to waste more money on teachers just coming in to teach, just to hold everything in place until 2028 rolls around and you can get like whatever official courses you need? How does this shit even happen? How does this shit get to this point? Luciano De Castro, the center's interim director, gave a presentation and discussed the center's first year of operations, including course enrollment, policy development, preparations for its expanded role under the state's new civics education requirements. So according to De Castro, the two classes offered by the center had a total of 19 students enrolled. He said this 19 students. All right, so it's only two classes, but like, look, that's 10 in a class. One of them has 9. He said that this low enrollment rate can be attributed to the fact that the courses currently count as one semester hour and are electives which don't go towards students' majors or minors. Quote, the students try to put priorities in courses that will bring not only hours, but also bring them closer to complete a major, a minor, or a certificate, and those courses do not have this characteristic, he said. So maybe that's something too, like, how much money are you going to spend on shit that doesn't even count towards these, like, actual degrees or whatever, you know? Based on the market assessment from the Common Sense Institute, Castro said the study found that centers similar to Iowa's often build enrollment by offering courses that satisfy degree requirements. The report identified graduation requirements and academic credentials such as minors and certificates as key factors influencing student participation. The centers do not start with the demand, they create it, De Castro said. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because here's the thing. Like, you know, say you build like a science center or something, right? Oh, so you built like some awesome labs, you know? People already want to be scientists. So you're going to have people in Iowa who go to the state university to pursue that, right? Now, you're not going to have people that want to be like, I don't know, professional wokeologists? What would your degree? What could you even be with this education? Right? That's not even going to get you anything. So this Calvin Hall, this houses the Center for Intellectual Freedom. That's so silly. So the other thing too that I find so hilarious about this is like if you're going into one of these places and you just take like normal courses, you're like, oh, I'm just like an English major or whatever, or like, I'm a history major or whatever. Then you're also gonna have like these wild right wingers in the hallways just like clogging up the place. So weird. All right, guys. So we're going to be moving into our SOTO fundraising power hour pretty soon here, in just a minute. So I want to give you guys some context before Gabriella gets here. Okay, we've been signing this petition that's at just about 9.6 thousand signatures. Okay, and basically, if you haven't heard the story of Gabriella and Martin yet, Gabriella's going to tell it to us. But before she gets here, I want to give you a little bit of a lowdown on some of the things we're going to be doing tonight that are going to be able to help. So we've been signing this petition. If you can sign it, if you haven't already, please do sign it. Please share it around. I'm sure all of you guys have already, and I appreciate you immensely. I know you guys have been following this story pretty closely and have been doing everything you can to help. So I appreciate you for that. Now, tonight, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be writing letters to basically describe how Martin and Gabriella have moved us, right, through knowing them. So let me give you the lowdown, and I'm going to send you guys these guidelines and all that stuff too, okay? So first thing I want to share with you is just the basic guidelines for the letters that we're going to be writing. So when Gabriella comes in here, let me get rid of this bot. When Gabriella comes in here, I'll have her go through her story with you guys. Boom. Sorry about that, gang. I'll have her go through her story with you guys. So our letters have to meet the following requirements, okay? So letters have to be personal. So, oh, perfect. Gabriella's ready here too. Let me get her on real quick, guys. And we're going to go over all this together. Okay, so let me grab Gabriella. Alrighty. Hey, Gabriella, how you doing?
I cannot see you.
Okay, yeah, hold on. You probably won't be able to see me because I'm on stream here, but I'm gonna share my screen with you here. Okay, there you go. Can
How do
you,
I how do I turn my camera
let's see.
right
Oh
side
yeah,
up?
look at you. You're horizontal, you're
I don't
you're
know
on
how
the
to
side
do
here.
this.
All right,
I
hold
don't
on. Let me see.
that is
Um,
that is strange.
oh, you know what? Just hold your phone like other way. One more.
I am
Oh, it's really messing with you.
That's really strange.
It is really messing with you. Okay, wait. Let me see if I can. Maybe I can flip you or something. Hold on. That is
That's
so
so
weird.
that's so strange. I don't know.
Okay, wait. I don't want to have you sideways the whole time. Let me see. Let me see if I can rotate you. Well, you know what? I can rotate you like this. Boop, 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 boop. All right.
Okay.
So if you want, okay, yeah. Let me do this. That works. Okay, and let me click one thing. And let me show you my screen on your end. I'm going to share my screen so you can see everything I'm doing. Okay. Can you see me on your end?
I can see the screen you're sharing.
Okay, yeah, but I'm like a little tiny, right? Let me share
Yeah.
better. Let me share a better one. Hold on. Da, da, da,
This
da.
is really weird. Like I'm trying to like really like switch.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm gonna have you okay here. Are you? If it's not too disorienting, I'll just keep you upright on our end. Or if you want,
I I can't even see myself now.
actually, oh, you can't see yourself. All right, let's try
Okay.
this. You guys are funny. I see my chat. They're just saying funny stuff. Um,
I cannot even read your
disconnect.
chat.
Disconnect. Yeah, I'm gonna fix this so you can see it. Let me disconnect and call you back, and
Okay.
let's see if your orientation gets fixed on the phone, because maybe it just thinks you're holding it one way and you're holding it the other. So let me turn it off and then we'll try it again. Thank you for holding tight with us, gang. Still upside
Still,
down?
yes, still the same.
So weird. Okay.
Really weird. Like I can't like I don't know.
Okay. You know what then?
I don't even know
I'm
how to navigate this.
I'm gonna see if you can just. All right, you see my screen again now?
Yes.
Okay, you can still see it?
Yes.
Okay. That's the important part. So, we'll just let me get this out of the way. And then if you want to just look at the screen I'm sharing you so you don't have to feel disoriented.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to show that. Okay, cool. All right, so guys, welcome. We've got Gabriella here with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Gabriella. I really appreciate it. And Gabriella is, I know you guys are pretty familiar with her. So before I have her dive into her story here, I'm just going to give you a real quick rundown. As you guys know, we've been working for signatures here for Martin Soto. He's in prison by ICE right now. He was kidnapped by them, and he was one of the people who started the Delaney Hall hunger strike. Okay, now since the time he's been abducted, it's been about 6 months now. And Gabrielle's been pregnant this whole time. So we're doing a couple things tonight to help out. Okay, as I mentioned already at the top, we have our free Martin Soto petition that you guys have been amazing. You guys have been a big part of signing and sharing this. So please do continue to sign and share it. It's just about at 10,000 signatures. Once it hits 10,000, we want to shoot for 13,000. Okay, the more signatures we can get, the better. And as I was mentioning before, one of the big important things we are here for tonight is to write letters for Martin and Gabriella here. They are going to be letters of support, and if we can get 200 of them, that would be incredible. So I'm going to have Gabriella tell you her story. We're going to go through everything, and whatever moves you about what we're talking about, I want you to please keep that in your mind. And when we go over our letters here, channel that into what you write, okay? So we'll be talking about how Martin and Gabriella met. We'll be talking about what Martin was doing before he was abducted by ICE. We're going to talk about how much Martin means to the people in his family, and we'll also talk about what kind of people are being held in these detention centers right now, because it's not criminals. That's not the case at all. And then Gabriella would like to share some of her thoughts about what's happened with Lorenzo recently. So we'll be very lucky to hear her speak on that. But first, I would love to have Gabriella talk to you guys about Martin and everything that's going on right now. And if you wouldn't mind just telling us your story, how let's maybe just start with like what's Martin's status right now and what is your goal right now, and then we'll go backwards to how you guys met.
um so his status right now, his asylum was denied. Um and we're appealing the decision. He does have an I-130 petition pending. Um, Everything was just denied for him after the hunger and labor strike. Everything was denied. Habeas, everything.
So that he's basically been in like
Retaliated.
detention. Yeah, like a retaliatory detention, and it's been basically it's been. I'm sorry, I'm just fixing your camera here. I got it fixed on my end here. Sorry, but it's essentially been.
I wish I could fix my own camera, 'cause I feel like I'm not even like I'm not I don't know what I'm looking at right now for myself.
You're if you can see my screen, then that's okay. You really don't have to like see anything. Um, I just want to fix your camera. One sec, guys. There we go. Okay. So
Oh, I see myself. Okay,
there.
cool.
Okay, you can see yourself now. Boom. Okay, yeah, we got it figured out here. We know what we're doing here. We're on the internet. You know, don't let it
uh,
don't
I
let it
don't I
fool
don't
you.
I don't know internet stuff. So
I know it's been pretty fun. Like Gabriella, I was teaching Gabriella about Reddit the other day and everything because Reddit's been
I,
really helpful in us doing our thing. My camera
mm.
battery just died too, so give me 1 second. Let me fix that. Well, everything happens while we're trying to just start something off here. Um, so real quick, we've got a question here that I would love for you to answer, Gabriella. Someone asked, "What does being denied asylum mean?" So could you explain that to our chatter here?
Yeah. So when you're denied asylum, you basically have to appeal, or you have to find a legal way to stay in this country because asylum is no longer your option. So a lot of people are getting denied asylum, which basically means either you need an I-130 petition pending, you need a U visa, or you need any other status that just keeps you here legally. Because once your asylum is denied, there is no way to reapply for asylum, because an asylum case is when you initially come to the country with like asking for asylum, and you can't re-ask for asylum if you're already in the country because you're out of danger.
Right. So essentially, Martin came from Peru, right? And his whole reason for coming was asylum, right? So can you explain sort of what his goal
um
was in achieving asylum?
okay, so this is kind of like a mixed, um like really mixed, because I would have to talk about our relationship in order for me to explain why he came here with asylum. um so when we were together, um I already had our daughter. So because of long distance, and because he missed our daughter's first birthday, because he missed the birth of our daughter and everything in general, I wanted to drop my life here in United States with our daughter to go to Peru. But Peru was, and still is, a really bad place right now, where you walk out of your house and you're in danger. There's been a lot of shootings, a lot of deaths in Peru. So he said, I don't want you to come here. I want a safe place for our daughter to grow up. So, which is why we were applying for the fiance visa for him to come, because we were engaged. But because of so many back and forths, we never really, he never gave me a ring. Um, but um, I think it was the last time in 2023 when I went to visit him the last time. Yeah, 20 November. Yeah.
Okay.
I went to visit him, and we wanted to apply for the U visa, the fiance visa. So he proposed um very quietly. We were just eating dinner and at home. We were watching a movie, and as soon as there was like an ad, he just like said, "Can I ask you a question?" I turn around, and then he just gives me a ring. Um So not really the way I wanted to get proposed to. Um, but I mean, I needed a ring in order to prove the fiance visa. So since we've been together since I was 19 years old, we were like, okay, so we're engaged. Cool. Um, I came back 2 or 3 days after he proposed, and I applied for the fiance visa. About a month and a half later, I do not get a text or a call or anything from him for about maybe like a week and a half or like 10 days, probably. I don't hear from him, and he's not online. He's he's just nowhere. I reach out to his parents, and I find out that he's coming here, or that he came here. And I said, "What do you mean he came here?" And then his mom told me, "Well, like about maybe 8 days ago or so, he left through the airport." And I said, "What do you mean left through the airport? He doesn't have a visa. Like he can't just, come here." He says he said that he had a plan and that he's gonna be fine, and we're just waiting for an answer. So yeah, I was just waiting and
Wow.
waiting until I got a prison jail call. And you know how crossing the border is very hard and difficult, and sometimes kids and adults don't even make it out alive.
Yeah,
That was my fear.
of course.
So I was like, why the hell did you not tell me? Like, why did you just, I don't know. Um, when he called me, he was in Arizona. And I, s-
Whoa.
and he told me, he was like, hello. And I said, hello, what do you mean hello? Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean hello? Where are you? And he's like, I'm in Arizona. I said, I wanted to yell at him, but I didn't even know how to begin to yell at that point.
Of course.
Um, and then I said, how when like I just had no questions. I didn't have anything to say at that point. Um, and I said, when did you come here? And then he's like, and I said, are you in like Arizona, like a detention center, or like where are you in Arizona?
Right.
And then he told me the detention center, and he said, I'm in Arizona, like New Jersey, Arizona. I was like, what?
What? Ni-
And and he said, no, United States, Arizona. I said,
uh,
no, Arizona is in United States, not United States is in Arizona. He said, I don't know. I just know I'm in United States.
that's
I said, okay.
terrifying. Like it's so huge. The United States is so huge. Like he had no idea where he was. That's crazy.
He doesn't know United States like that. All he
Of
knows about
course.
about United States is New Jersey, where I'm from, and New York. That's it. That's all he knows.
That's wild for the only thing you know about New Jersey be or the United States to be New Jersey because we're kind of a crazy place. But
Yes.
that's wild. Okay, so he was in Arizona, and then how did he get out of detention there when he first
So it
came over?
wasn't it he didn't get out for 4 months,
Yeah,
but as soon as he called me, I said, what are your visiting hours? And he says, well, visiting hours are tomorrow, which was I think it was a Friday or a Saturday. I don't remember.
right.
It was like 3 years ago, I think, or like two and a half or something.
Yeah,
Um, but he said that the visiting time was tomorrow and it was at night. And I said, oh, okay, when's the next visiting time during the day? And he says, we only have visiting hours at night. I said, okay. um and then he was like, don't come, don't come. I said, okay, I won't go. But then I kind of wanted to do the same thing he did.
I was gonna say you both you both did the same thing to each other.
So um yeah, so I got on a plane the next morning. I flew all the way to Arizona. and it was from the airport that I had to get an Uber from the airport to the facility, which was like a 2 hour and a half drive. And it was in the middle of nowhere. It was like in the middle of no, like you saw sand, you saw grass, you saw like
Desert.
you just saw you just saw like desert. I
Yeah.
would imagine you would see an eagle just flying. You know how you see in like the movies when
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's so vacant and like you
Ah!
see like an eagle like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's
It was
wild.
it was vacant. It's like in the middle of nowhere. And I was surprised that, families are standing outside in the middle of nowhere to
Right.
go see, their loved ones. Um, so that day, I hate even thinking about it. Just because I wore a green shirt and detainees have a green code in that facility,
Mm.
they turned me down the visit.
Oh, because okay, guys, if you don't know, a lot of these detention centers have very strict rules with
Yes.
visitation, including what you can wear. Can you explain that a little bit, Gabby, for people who don't know, for
You can't wear
visitation?
specific you can't wear specific colors, you can't show skin. um you you can't bring anything inside, you can't wear open toe shoes, you can't wear skirts, you can't wear anything too tight or anything too loose. um yeah, it's just really strict.
It feels like
um
there's basically a reason for them to turn anyone away for like any sort
just
of arbitrary reason that they would just because they want to.
yes. And if it was not for a lady that drove like over 4 hours, because she also had kids and stuff. So she drove over 4 hours, to go to this detention center. But
Yeah.
because she has kids, she has emergency clothing and stuff. So she gave me a sweater.
Okay.
Um and I wore it on top and then they let me in. Um I was like making a big scene like in that moment because I was like, detainees like clothing is green, so I can't wear green.
It's crazy. I
The,
mean,
the- and I was like, and I literally was like going off on the guard and saying, "You do realize they are a male detainee and I'm a woman. How the hell am I going to take their place, or how are we going to switch places?"
yeah,
And like,
there's no reason.
families were just saying, "Just relax because they can suspend your visit." I was like, I came all the way from a different state. I came from the East Coast. They are not going to like they're not going to reject my visit, because if they reject the visit, then they're going to regret it. I was like, how are you telling me? And I just kept going off on the guard. And then
Yeah.
the guard literally said, "I'm sorry, but if you don't have the proper clothing, you can't come in." I said, "Are my shoes okay? Or is black not okay? I can't wear black shoes too?" And then I was like, "My socks are white. Am I not allowed to go in because I have white socks too?"
They weren't ready for the jersey, the jersey
They
comeback attitude of just being like they're in Arizona. They're like, you gotta talk like nicely to the cactuses around here. You're like, no, what the fuck? You gotta let me in. Like that's was that your first time to a detention center? Like, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that I know that's
um
like that's a wild sort of that's
yeah. So like like um like a lot of people were like, "Wait, you came from New Jersey?" I said, "Oh yeah, I came from New Jersey. They're not going to reject my visit. They're not going to." So I guess sympathy, or like, me coming all the way from a different state is what, pushed people to like, or like the woman to give me a sweater.
that's
um
great. I'm glad we've got people in the world like that, and like a Royal Pain just said in the chat, always count on a mom to be prepared. That's absolutely true. I know that one. Like, and Gabrielle's the same way as we've mentioned. Gabrielle has two kids of her own, right?
mhm.
And she's pregnant with another one. So all of this that's happening too is happening to a family here. So after that Arizona, after that whole time, What was the outcome of that? Was Martin ever released or?
So from Arizona, he went to Louisiana, he went to Texas, he went to California, he went back
Oh
to Louisiana, and then he came back to Arizona, and then he was released. So he went, no, hold on. Arizona, Louisiana.
my God!
No, my bad. Florida. Arizona, Florida, Arizona, Louisiana, Florida, Texas, California, and then Arizona again. So six. I think I'm forgetting one more because it was seven detention centers. I don't
Right,
remember.
right. Hey, I
But
mean,
it
no
was
one can
seven,
blame you.
but it was seven different detention centers because I've never had that many stamps on my passport before in my life.
Oh my gosh. Why do they transfer so often?
Just so they can be separated from their loved ones. And some
Yeah.
people like from Arizona, when they would get transferred, like so I went to Arizona I think 3 times, I think 2 or 3 times
Okay.
over the weekends.
Yeah.
And one lady was coming out of the visit saying that, her husband was being transferred and she was crying and everything. And I was like, wait, transferred? Why? And then she said, because they just told him today that they're gonna transfer him tonight. So, and I was like, and you live in Arizona? It's like, yeah. And then I said, where are they transferring him to? And he said, they told him Louisiana. I said, why Louisiana? I don't know. And I was starting to understand the immigration process during these like 4 months.
Right.
And I saw like different like people going to these places and just never coming back. Because they don't have money to, be traveling all the time.
Of course. I
Um
mean,
from state to state just for
right.
1 hour visit, and sometimes not even an hour. Because I remember Arizona, they do only half an hour visits. Louisiana does 1 hour visits. California did 30-minute visits. Um
Are they
Florida.
required? Are they required to do visitation? Like, is that like a right that because I know these are so guys. If you don't know these detention centers, they're for profit. They're
Mhm.
not run by the government. They're contracted by the government, contracted by the federal government, and then they are private companies operating within our states as contractors of federal entities. That's why we've had so many issues of like governors not being able to go in and see the actual detainees. That's why they've been able to keep these things so tight. So, you know, I'm wondering too, if is there some sort of profit motivation for them to transfer people? Do they make, is this like some part of them making money? It's very
I
hard to tell,
I
but they're
I
not
haven't been
required to
able
give
to.
answers.
They're not. But I've been trying to look into it a lot because
Yeah,
why the hell do you transfer so many people?
yeah.
And
I can't figure out
Arizona,
where it goes.
Arizona and um and California have a huge population. Like if we think that Roxbury was going to be big, those
Forget it.
facilities are enormous. They they have units from A to Z.
That's
That's
insane.
why we're required to come 2 hours and a half before visitation hours.
Wow.
At least in the Laney Hall, all we had to do was come 1 hour or even 45 minutes before, because it's not that big.
So
If we
can you?
think if we think the Laney Hall is bad, these places are even worse.
That's insane. And so, can you tell people kind of how that visitation works? Because basically, you go, they give you a number. Like, not everything is guaranteed and certain in these instances.
So every detention facility is different. Some get a number
Right.
like a ticket, but some just use their A number.
Right. Right.
Um, they you don't really get a ticket. Some places don't even get a ticket.
Okay. Sure.
Some places just they just jot down the A number that you're visiting, and then they just throw you in like a visiting room, and then you just wait until they call, like for example, echo unit, families for echo unit, and then they like start bringing them out, and then we start going
Mm,
in. um but yeah, um for Elizabeth, we do have, to take a ticket, and then we have to wait and then get a number, and it's a whole process.
right.
But I think the one in Elizabeth is only the same for the one in Louisiana. I think it's Parish Correctional Facility, or
Oh, got
Parish
it. Okay.
Correct.
Whatever the company
Yeah.
is, this is just what they do.
Um yeah, but that's the only one I think that is the same as Elizabeth, because the other detention centers, it was pretty much just like Delaney Hall, just giving the A number and then just waiting.
I gotcha.
Um,
Okay, so after Martin got out of his first round of being in ICE detention, you guys returned to New Jersey, and is that
so
you
yes.
start putting your life together?
So once he gets out of Arizona, um, he has 24 hours to buy a ticket. So I buy the ticket for him, and he comes here. I also have the video of when he was getting out of the airport here in Newark Airport. Um, yeah, it was really nice, and then he got to see, our daughter. He got to we like the first thing he wanted to do was go see her.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, we spent like I think a week in a hotel, and then we got our own place. Um, and then yeah, we just started, building from there. Um, so I have some friends, or used to have friends, that would help me find jobs and stuff for my husband. So he would find jobs. Um, and then, from there we just, yeah,
And he was working construction, right?
construction, landscaping, and then cooking as
Okay.
a cook.
Yeah, awesome. And so we know like Martin came here because he wanted to be with you guys. He wanted to be with his family and he wanted to work. So then, if you wouldn't mind telling us, the next a few months later, essentially, um, he's abducted on his way to get diapers, and this whole next round of horror starts. So after he was released, why was he then detained after being released from the first time?
Um, so I don't have an answer. They don't really give an answer.
Yeah. It was
Um,
just a matter of he was still working on becoming naturalized, and
mhm.
and they took him as an
But
opportunity.
it's not even that they just took him because of that. It was like they were asking him a question. He didn't understand what the question was, so he was asking in English because he does speak a little bit English.
Yeah.
He was like, "Can you slow down? Can you slow down?" They got frustrated and just arrested him.
Holy shit. So
So,
so a lot of these people, that's happening to a lot of people, right? Where just because they are unable to communicate, they're basically jumping to the conclusion of these people and abducting them, and then not necessarily giving them process. Now, one question that was just asked, that was really interesting, if you happen to know anything about this, do we have any documentation on how they handle and treat people with disabilities? And I remember Martin did talk on this a little bit, mentioning somebody who had a seizure and wasn't receiving their medication on time. But can you speak to that a little bit?
so yeah, um they treat people with disabilities even worse. Delaney Hall, they had a guy who needed crutches to walk. They didn't allow him his crutches because they saw it as a weapon
Wow.
when he physically needs that walk. Um, they see illnesses like depression, because Martin, my husband, he was one time in one of the detention centers in Arizona, where his cellmate, or his, I hate using that word, his roommate,
Yeah.
um he he suffered from depression because he's only 18, but legally here in this country you are an adult at 18. So he suffers depression, especially since, he's only a child and this is his first time getting detained and everything. So they wouldn't give him medication, even though his mom would send in the prescribed application that he needs it. I even, like, Martin kind of knows me that I'm not gonna, take anyone's BS. So he was like, "Can you help, like, talk with the guard, with the mom, like, talk to the guard and get him his medication?" So I was on the phone actually. If there's some way to, like, get these recorded and monitored phone calls, that would be great, because I
Mm.
could definitely use that against them.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why they say this is on a recorded and monitored line. What is it
It's for
used for?
it's for
I
them.
don't.
It's for them to be like, whatever. They want to
Yeah,
use it against people however they can, right? Um,
yeah.
but basically,
But
as you were saying, if you have a
I was
disability in
hoping,
there, that they don't care about you.
no. I was helping the mom, and the explanations they gave us was that we don't know where these pills get prescribed from. I said, "So you see this paper? I don't know if you're, because that guard was wearing glasses. So I was like, I don't know if you need a new prescription, but like this paper, it says it's prescribed by XO doctor, by this facility, by this, like, by this doctor, by this, practice, and it is signed. Do you need a new prescription? Do you want to wear, like, my glasses? Do you want me to get you some glasses? Because this kid is 18." He said, "He's not a kid if he's 18 then." I said, "He is 18.
Like according to the law, but
Teen."
like, yeah, teen,
And I
exactly.
was like, "Teen, a teenager." And then she was like, "Can you, like, relax?" And then I was like, "You're prohibiting a kid from getting his medication. He's having depression and anxiety. He needs medication." And then she was like, "Are you his family? Why are you so concerned? You're here to see your husband. Why are you so concerned?" I was like, "First of all, he is my fiance, not my husband yet. So, I mean, thank you for, telling me what I do already know.
Right.
Um, Second of all, I don't have to be his family. I don't have to be his girlfriend. I don't have to be anyone to him to tell you what you're doing wrong." So, and like, his mom was like saying, like, are you sure you want to continue, like, doing this? I was like, You guys are too soft here, I'm sorry." And I was like
Yo.
talking to, like, the guard, and I said, "Can you call your supervisor?" And his mom was like scared. He's like, "No, no, 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 like, don't call the supervisor." I was like, "No, if you want an answer, you have to call the supervisor."
Right.
And then she was like, "No, I'm sorry, we can't call the supervisor." "Why not? Why are you—" He's like, "Because the supervisor's not here right now." I said, "Okay, so we'll wait." And he's like, "You're gonna wait until tomorrow?" "Yeah, I don't have anything better to do."
They're not
And
ready
then she
for
was like,
that. They're
"They're
not ready
really
for
not."
someone who will do that.
And that point, like, so mind you, we did leave the facility, but I did stay for the next day, and I did come back, because I mean, even though it was like hours of a drive, I did come back, and I told them, "Listen, I was here yesterday. They said that I had to come back today because apparently I can't stay overnight in this facility, which I don't know why I can't stay overnight in a facility, because it is still in my right to be overnight in a facility if I want to stay overnight. If I am actually doing here, doing something in this facility, which is visiting a person. So, can you tell me why you cannot, like, prescribe this medication?" And I showed the prescription, and the supervisor was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know that you were not prescribing this to that person." I was like, "You didn't know?" And I was like, the little short bitch, she was like telling me, like, she can't give it to him. And he was like, "Which one?" I was like, "She had, like, red hair, she had glasses, she had, like, a really, like, acne face." You know her? Like, I don't know who's your like, you guys never wear badges or name tags or anything. So
Yes.
I don't know like who is who. And they never give out their names, they never give out their last names. I think that's even illegal. I'm supposed to know exactly who the hell I'm talking to when I come here.
Right.
And then he's like, and then he said, well, you're supposed to wear name tags. I was like, well, she didn't. The guard outside didn't. The guard in the front of this building didn't. The guards inside the building do not wear name tags. Nobody here wears name tags. And I was like, you don't even wear a name tag. I don't even know who the hell I'm speaking to right now.
They they
And he was
they
like,
they try to obfuscate their information and their faces. They do, and again, this is because they're privately owned. They're not beholden to the same rules that something might be beholden to if it were a government,
yeah,
state run, even something like that. So they're very very tricky about what they do. Now another question was just asked if you all were to get officially married, could he be released because he'd officially be a spousal citizen? No.
no.
Okay, so not at this point, right?
I'm actually very curious to know what people say in like the chat right now because I can't see
Oh
anything.
yeah, if you can see my screen right above my head, you can see a little bit. You can see a little bit of them there.
Nah.
Um, so I'm getting you any of the questions that get asked. I'm throwing them up here, and also I'm gonna cut this into a video so that it'll always be there, and you can see the chat and stuff. But
But yeah, they were just not ready for someone to be really stubborn.
yeah.
I guess they're just used to, saying no and then people, just leaving.
Well, in this country too, there's just we don't value the lives of immigrants as much as we value the lives of like white people in general here as a society. So, like even as we will talk about later, we'll talk about Lorenzo. My concern about that situation is that we won't hear about it nearly as much on mainstream media or things like that. Um, we'll get into that when we get into that. But now Martin has been detained by ICE for the second time now. And this is when he gets put into Delaney Hall. This is in February, correct? Is he in
Mhm.
Delaney first?
Delaney first, February 1st, around like 10:30 at night.
Okay. So what happens now? So he was out getting diapers and then you receive a call, I'm assuming, again, he's in a
I
facility.
receive a call. I receive a call from him, and as soon as I answer, I'm about to like start yelling on the phone, like, "What happened?"
Right.
But he says, "Stop! Wait! Listen to me! Listen to me! I didn't do anything! I didn't do anything!" And I was like, "Then where the hell are you? Why am I getting a call from a prison jail number?" And then he was like, they were asking me a question. I was like, who's they? Who's they? He's like, ICE,
Right.
agents. I was like, what the hell are they doing in Kearney? They're in Newark right now. He's like, I don't know. They stopped me. They stopped me and they were asking me a question and I told them in English, can you slow down? They got frustrated and they just arrested me. I was in a car in an SUV or something with like three other people. I was like, why? Like, what the? Like, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, where are you? Do we even have detention centers in New Jersey? He's like, I think I'm in New Jersey. They said I'm in Delaney Hall, New Jersey. I said, what is Delaney Hall? He's like, and he's like, I don't know. I said, you only use hall when it's like a party situation, like a like a place
Event
where you
hall,
like a like
wedding
that.
hall.
And yeah, something like that. No, and he was like, that's what they're telling me. They said Delaney Hall. I said, how do you spell that? He's like, I don't know. I saw that there's like a green building. It looks like really secure. I was like, so it has to be a prison. So, okay, like green. Maybe that's like, I don't know, Passaic County, Essex County.
Mm.
He said, I don't know. I just know it's a green building. I said, okay, what else did you see? He's like, there were a lot of trucks. I was like, okay, so that can't be Passaic. He was like, I know it was like maybe 15-minute drive from where we were. I was like, where were you? He said, I don't know. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was in a highway. I was like, maybe like a correctional center, maybe. where did they take you first? He's like, I don't know. I was detained, but I was waiting. They arrested me like around 5:36, and then they just kept me waiting in a room. And then the next thing I know, they take me out with like maybe six other people, and then we get transferred here. And then like somebody there said, Delaney Hall's in Newark. Tell your partner like it's in Newark. And then he was like, did you hear that? I said, Newark. We're right next to Newark. I never heard of a detention center in Newark. He's like, and then he said, and then he asked that person, he's like, what part of Newark? He said, I just know it's in Newark. I said, okay. So I said, just hold on, just stay there. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna see what I can do. And he's like, are you sure you can get me out? I said, I don't know, but I'm gonna try. So I get my neighbor. I tell her to watch my kids while I go and see where the hell Delaney Hall is. I didn't even know how to spell it. That's how bad I didn't even know. Like, I
right?
didn't even know so much about my own state.
Well, Delaney
Um,
Hall had been shut down before they reopened it back up. So it was not in operation for a couple of years before this even
yeah.
happened, just to give everybody some context there.
Um, so I start driving and I go to Delaney Hall. I park like right by the tent. Um, and I go in and I run to the guard and I'm like, wait, hold on. And he was like, what are you doing here? I was like, hold on, I have to go inside. He was like, visitation hours are over. I said, I'm not here for visitation. I'm here to take out my husband. He's like, what do you mean take out your husband? I was like, and then he said, is he getting released? I said, no, I'm here to take him out because he doesn't belong here. He's like, did he just get picked up? I said, yes. He's like, he's not coming out today. I was like, no, but I have to speak to somebody about that. He's like, well, supervisors are done for the night because mind you, it was like 10:30 at night.
Right.
Um, and I was like, he didn't do anything. Can I speak to an ICE agent? He's like, he doesn't even have an assigned deportation officer yet. If he just got picked up, he's still in process. Processing takes 48 hours. I said, why does it take 48 hours? How long does it take to process somebody? And then he was like, it's a process. And then he called me sweetheart. I've really hated when I'm really pissed and you're calling me
Ooh.
like, oh,
Yo, they're dicks. It's insane. They are such guys. The
I
people who
was
work at Delaney Hall are actually fucking like some of the grossest people. Like you can find footage online of some of these guys that work there calling out protesters, like female protesters by name. Like there was one video I saw. I'll never forget it because one of the security guards was talking to the protesters, being like, I think their person's name was Casey or something. And like, oh, me and Casey got a thing going on. We got a little thing. Like the people that work there are absolutely like, beyond the fact that they have no morals and they're working at a concentration camp. These are people that like are abusers and like will absolutely demean you, and like, yeah, that's so gross. Like to
mm,
even, you're going through the worst shit of your life and then you're demeaned. I mean, yeah, racism and misogyny, they go hand in hand, right? Side by side on the piano, like you
mm.
said, GTA. But um uh
so
yeah, so
so
what happens next?
so I demand to see my husband. I literally say, I will go in through these gates right now and you can detain me. Like I have no problem going in through these gates right now. I want to speak to an ICE agent. And he's like, you've been through this process before, right? I said, what is that to you? Do you have a problem with me doing this? And then he said, well, you have to wait. If you want to speak to his deportation officer, he's like, I'm not, are you listening to me? I'm not asking to speak to his deportation officer. I'm asking to speak to any ICE agent. Any. Doesn't matter if it's his deportation officer. It doesn't matter if it's your deportation officer. I want to speak to any ICE agent. And then he said, okay, hold on. He goes into his little like cabin thing.
Yeah, the little box up front.
He, yeah, he goes in there for like maybe what, like 5-10 minutes, mind you. It is February and it is cold.
Yeah.
Um, and it just like finished having like a snowstorm like maybe a week ago or so
And it's 10
before that
p.m.
day.
It's freezing.
And um yeah, so I wait, and then he comes out and he says, "I'm sorry, I can't have an ICE agent just come outside just for no reason." I said, "I want to know why my husband's picked up. I want to know if he's okay." He's like, "Okay, okay, relax, relax." I said, he said, "If you've been through this process before, then you know that he's okay." I said, "What?
Okay.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Like, what do you?" I said, "What do you mean okay?" He's like, "You've been through this process before because you seem like you know what you're talking about." And my son, sorry.
Do you think? Do you think? If you need to take a minute, take a minute.
No, he just starts crying with his eyes closed and moving with his eyes closed because he wants milk. So
Oh, you know how that goes. Oh, Noah, cutie.
yeah, he's
How are
he's
the
obsessed
kids?
with his milk.
How are the kids do? Oh, I know how that goes. I got a 2.5 year old. She loves it. How are the kids doing?
Uh, Vero is the one that is most affected by this. Um,
Vero's your 4-year-old daughter, right?
yes. Um, she learned how to say free them all. She learned how to say Delaney Hall. She learned how to say shut down Delaney Hall. She learned how to say El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. She learned how to say free daddy. Um, she learned how to pump her fist and literally say like free them all. Um, yeah. So it's kind of really bad on her. She is the one that's been most affected by this. Um, yeah. That's why I try to like take her mind off of everything, which is why I entered her in the toddler of the year contest so that if she wins,
Yeah.
she can have like a photo shoot um to be toddler of the year.
Let me pull that up. Let
Um
me pull up that link too. Guys, one thing we can do to support, all right? Super easy. Gabriella has her daughter in Hasbro's Kid of the Year. Is that what it's called? I'm going to pull it up here.
Toddler of the year.
Toddler of the Year. Toddler of
um
the Year. I'm going to pull that up right here. So,
mhm.
guys, this is Vera. She's so cute, and she's first in their group right now. So,
Yes.
please do. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat for you guys. So please do vote for her. There's what, 6 days left? Let's go.
So right now I think it's the second to last round because right now I think it says, what does it say? Like the top what?
She's let's see. She's currently first in their group. Top 10.
Top 10. So
Top 10.
as soon as the 6 days finish, a week, um, she goes into the top 10, no, the top 5. When it's the top 5, then it's just the top 5, and then it's just whoever's the winner.
Guys, go vote for Vera, okay? Because if she wins, that's 25. That's 25 grand. They could use it right now. That's awesome. And
And
guys,
if you
please,
scroll down, you see
yeah.
pictures of Vero.
Let's see. Oh, she's so cute. One of the things that touched me so much about Guy's story, like, oh, there's her with Martin. Like, I'm a girl dad, and I just know the bond that, like, daddy and daughter have. Like, call it cheesy, call it whatever, but like, it's what moves it really, like, that's what makes me cry whenever I think about this stuff. Is I think about, man, this girl needs her daddy, but this girl needs her daddy back, and this daddy needs his girl. All right, so we gotta help. So do please help and vote there. Now, another thing you can do before we continue on our story here, please if you can donate directly to Gabriella and help her with her bills, she has a sea of bills and things that, and we'll talk about that a little later. But I have in the pinned comment the petition and the Venmo link for you to please do donate, help out however you can. Okay. So as let's continue on. So now we're at Delaney Hall. Okay, we're there in February, and obviously Martine's not being released, and it's the beginning of this new struggle that you've entered here. So what is kind of like, what's the next couple days looking like as you try to get access to him, and how do these things sort of unfold?
One thing I do want to like mention before we continue with that
Yeah.
is when I got to see him in his first visitation at Delaney Hall, um I don't know what happened, and up to this day I don't know what they did to him. I saw him with a scratch or like a cut on his upper lip, um a cut on his arm. He looked like he was stabbed or something in his chest.
Jesus.
It like I don't I saw him and I was like, "Ooh," I I was crying seeing him for the first time. I thought he was, just detained, just detained. But he was bruised up. His so it's this his left eye, lower left eye right here, it was like purplish.
Jesus.
And I was like, what did they who did this to you? And he said, I'm okay. I'm okay. This is I did this to myself. I said, what do you mean you did this to
He's trying
yourself?
to
How the
protect
hell
you.
like what do you mean? How the hell do you do this to yourself? And he was like, I was like, you don't even have a like how do you cut yourself without having something? And he's like, I'm okay. Just don't worry about it. I'm okay. He said, who did this to you? I was like, I don't even know who it is. I said, like an agent or a staff member. I'm Can we just forget about this? We only have like 30 minutes in this visitation. Can we just talk, please? I said, okay. I Up to this day, I still don't know like what happened because he won't tell me, even though I tried to get it out of him so many times. Even
Wow.
up to 6 months later.
Why do you think he won't tell you? Is that just, do you think it's like part of him trying to protect you, or like, is he like maybe a
Because
little old school like that, or
because I suffer from anxiety, um,
yeah?
and depression. So he doesn't want me to go insane. Um
I mean, I get maybe he just doesn't have that on its. I understand. I have anxiety and depression myself. I'm medicated for it, and I understand. Maybe he doesn't quite understand that. Like,
he's
uh,
understanding it now.
yeah,
But before he didn't understand it. But I mean, it's good that he's not telling me because if I do know who it is, I'm gonna lose. Like right now, I have so much support behind me
yeah.
that if he tells me the name of the ICE agent that did this, I will text every person I know and we will find him.
He
Bro,
knows
I don't
he
even like.
he knows he married a Jersey woman. Like, I'm telling you, he knows it. I did it myself. I get it. Like, he knows there's like, you don't fuck with the Jersey woman. You don't do it. Uh,
And right now he's kind of, I guess he's like more scared because the fact that I have like so many people behind me that he's
yeah,
gonna like if I like tell him, or like if he tells me and I tell people, like they're gonna lose it.
sure, right, right,
If they're already losing it just for being detained, and people are helping me from everywhere to like sign this petition, then he's like, oh, I maybe in the back of his mind he's like, maybe I shouldn't tell her.
right. One thing that I obviously only got the opportunity to see him talking with you, but as I saw him talk with you, one thing that struck me about him is he's incredibly like forthright in his morality. He obviously clearly does things based off of what he thinks is good for the world and for people, and for the people he loves. He's clearly the kind of person that gives it all for the people he loves. So I have so much respect for him in that regard, and I kind of get why he hasn't told you yet. You know, just knowing both of you now, and like I get that. You know, he's definitely like, I'm gonna protect her heart, and you're definitely like, I'm gonna fuck anybody up whose name I get. Like, so I get that.
So, and I think another reason why I think he's gonna like take it to his grave is because I don't know if you see the I don't know if you remember the little kid that was like 18 years old in
Yeah.
an ICE agent in front of Delaney Hall.
Oh, I wanted to talk. Yeah, yeah, we will talk about that. But yes,
I found him. I found his license plate,
that's crazy. Just keep it at
and I
that.
sent
Say no more.
and I sent it around, and people are trying to look up like a lot of things. So
Oh my goodness.
I
Yeah,
think
I know.
I think another reason is like he's trying to protect me from doing something.
He's protecting you from yourself a little bit, because one you've definitely you've. I mean, yeah, I don't want to speak for you, but one thing that I've seen, and maybe you could speak to this a little bit, is like this situation has made you infinitely courageous and vocal the way you speak about these issues. What is this whole situation sort of like done for you, and like where are you seeing yourself right now? This thing has obviously totally flipped your life. um what are you going through and discovering, and what's your life becoming through this?
um well, I guess I'm learning how to find like my voice in all of this. First let me just fix my son because he's kind of twisted.
Do your thing, do
Do
your
your thing.
thing.
Do your thing.
Our
Okay,
babies
puppy.
come first.
Okay. Now he's untwisted. Okay. um I think I mean, a lot of people in Carney, um they know me um from being a little spicy back in high school.
So guys, Kearney is the town in New Jersey, just so you know. We have a town called Kearney.
um so when the Carney Life article came out, um so it has a lot of people that I went to high school with.
Hmm.
um and they wrote about how just a regular Carney resident who was very quiet, but I guess got into it from time to time. Um,
It was high school, we all did.
she found her voice advocating for the rights of immigration. And they were like talking like about my person because Carney, I've lived here for like maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
So so they do know me. Some good reasons, some bad reasons. Um
We love that. We need a mix.
um so a lot of like people start like finding their voice through this, and they were like saying, like, even some of my teachers, like, they saw the Carney Life post and like the paper and everything, and they were like they were starting to post like, oh, she was my student. I was like, hi. um and I guess if someone would have told me like just a couple months ago or even a couple years ago or even back in high school that I was gonna make the top 75 in like policymakers of New Jersey, I would have never believed it. Um,
That's right, guys. Gabriella was just recognized in a publication recently as one of the top policymakers in New Jersey, and this is a list of like politicians and people who enact bills and things like that. And Gabriella was listed just for her activism, like purely the things that she's doing, and from a firsthand account, I will say too, I have seen the amazing things that Gabriella does in terms of rallying people around her cause. I've as we've been at Delaney Hall, I go there every morning. There's a group of protesters there who are there basically 24/7, and they're incredible. And they're some of the people with the biggest hearts in the world. Just seeing how they've also been pushing Gabriella's story, everyone's looking to help. It's very hopeful in this time, where things are like, things are what they are. But this has shown me, like, first of all, just the power that we all have. And we I think we can tap into it when we don't even expect it. And so along those lines, right? Um, let's speak about the hunger strike now, and what's gone on there, and basically where we're at this point now. So Martine's been at Delaney Hall now for some months, and the conditions continue to deteriorate, right? And then that brings him
Mhm.
to the hunger strike. And how does that all unfold?
So the week prior to May 22nd, which was the family rally, um, that started the hunger and labor strike in support of the hunger and labor strike. The week prior to that, which is 7 days before the 22nd, I'm not good at math. Um, so 7 days before the 22nd, they were fed worms for food, which is, I guess, the last draw for them. um because they all complain like they don't get their medical, like their medication. They don't get attended on time. The food is expired, the food is frozen, the food is unedible. They are cold, they are too hot, they don't get bed sheets, or they don't get their laundry done in time.
Right.
They don't get their commissary on time, or sometimes they, whatever they order, they don't get refunded because it just doesn't show up. They complain about everything because the conditions inside are very bad.
Yeah.
But I think the last thing that really drew it was the fact that they were fed worms.
Yeah.
So me, you know being the kind of person I am, um in support of every detainee going on a hunger and labor strike, because mind you, they got paid $1 a day for a 12-hour shift. My husband one time was sick in April, mind you. He was sick and he did like 8 hours or like 9 hours of work, and he didn't finish his 12 hours. So they paid him 50 something cents, a little bit over 50 cents.
Now, they need
He
to use
was
that money as well to like make calls and do and like pay for whatever they want within the
Mm,
detention center, correct? So
yes.
it's not like they're just making money and then they get released and they're like, oh, I have some money from when I was in the detention center and
Mhm.
I was getting paid $1 a day, right? Which would still be cruel and
That's slavery.
unbearable.
That's modern day
That's
slavery.
that's slavery. But not only that, not only is that, but you also have to spend that money back within that system just to try to live any, not even, can't even say comfortably, but just to try to live, right?
Hmm.
So like to make phone calls, do all that stuff. So it is absolutely slavery. And I think this is one of the things that maybe people don't even know about what happens in there, is that these detainees are not just sitting in there, they are working. And they're put to work by this for-profit institution. That's one of the reasons why that these institutions want to have people in there. That is a workforce for them. And that is, that's slavery. $1, you can't do that, you know? So I'm sorry, please do continue. I just wanted everybody to know like that how critically
Yes.
important that is. It is slavery.
Um. So as soon as as I guess it was, they were just fed up
Yeah.
with everything, and one detainee stood up and was talking back to the guard, saying, "We're not eating this," because the worms were crawling on the tray.
Yeah.
And the guard just said, "Well, either you eat it or you starve until tomorrow." And mind you, they didn't have commissary at that time because commissary is delivered during weekdays. And that was like, I think, a Friday or a Saturday.
Got it. And guys, commissary, so you know, this is like if people buy them anything, right? This is like something that might get delivered to them. This is
Mm-hmm.
not like your standard food within the hall. This is maybe like a packaged good or something like
It's
that.
it's like rum,
Yeah.
canned tuna,
Yeah.
um like the rice in the pack that you just heat up,
Sure.
um milk, soda, chips, nothing that you can physically cook,
Right.
just things that are just like things that you just have to like
Snacks
heat
and
up.
like packaged goods, things like that.
Hmm.
So this is something that they would get. But again, that's only on the weekdays, as you said, and this is over the weekend where they are just reliant to eat whatever food is being served. And this particular weekend, the food was so rotten that it had worms in it.
Yes. um so I wanted to stand by those people that were choosing to not eat and have their demands met. So I made a flyer, um, and I said organized by Gabriela Soto. And, it was fine. It was something for the families. It was not something that was supposed to be like, like a protest. It wasn't supposed to be something, you know, like riots coming and stuff.
Right.
We weren't challenging anybody. It literally said a family rally.
Right.
I don't know where Geo Group like got it that I was like, challenging them or whatever. Um and then yeah, so the family rally ended on May 22nd, and we ended like around 1:30, around that time. And then like 2 hours later, around 3:30, uh ICE agents and Geo staff call my husband down to the management office, and the first question they ask him is, if we release you now, will you tell your wife to stop the protest outside? I it wasn't a protest. It was a family rally, which we are entitled to do if we want to.
Right. It's public space.
And
I mean,
even and even if and if even if it was a protest, I'm in my legal right to do a protest if I want to.
yeah.
Um, so he said no comment to that. Then the second question was, did did you start the strike inside? He said no comment. The last question was, did you know your wife was starting the protest outside? He said no comment, and then he asked if he can go back to his cell. And they took that literally, and they took him and locked him in his cell from 3:30 until like 10:30 at night, when I finally got a call. I think it's just like a routine because I'm getting a phone call when he's detained at 10:30. Now he's getting in out of his cell at 10:30. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, because one thing they started doing was they started putting him in solitary, correct?
They put him in solitary on May 25th.
Okay, so 3 days after this rally,
Yes.
um, so
So,
again, Gabriella started it. It's not a protest. It's literally just families coming together to start, discussing and supporting each other.
mhm,
That's literally, that's it. Because if you go out for the visitation hours, you see it's mothers, it's children, it's people
mhm.
that need help because they're by themselves.
Yes, and kids were drawing and coloring. We had tons of food. Like, we had music and everything. How is that a protest?
Right.
And even if it was, we're in our right to do it.
Right.
And during this whole thing, the only thing that we were doing was doing the 24-hour vigil, just so that the detainees inside can know that they are not alone.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
weren't we weren't we weren't, confronting ICE agents. We weren't throwing them bombs or anything. We were just staying in the tent and like around the driveway area, chanting and playing music. We were just, showing support that they are being heard.
Yeah.
So now comes Saturday, because the family rally was on Friday. So now comes Saturday. It's time for visitation. I go in, everything's fine. All the detainees come down for their visits beside my husband. So I walk up to the guard and I tell him, why is my husband not down? And then he says, because I wanted to talk to you first. I said, what do you want to talk to me about?
Jeez.
And he said, why are you spreading lies and telling them that we're feeding them worms? I said, because you are. He's like, do you have any proof? I said, words from detainees, words from family, concerns from family members. I do have proof. He's like, do you have physical proof? Have you seen it? I said, I don't have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, it's your husband.
Um,
Like what? He's not gonna lie to you,
it's not even that. It's just there were over 200 detainees calling their families,
right?
calling the white tent outside, telling them what they saw the week before.
So, guys, so just so you're aware, there's a white tent outside of Delaney Hall. It's a mutual aid tent, and this is where all the families can go. They can get clothes if they need clothes to visit in there. There's food packages for them. There's all sorts. It's just mutual aid for the families. So what
Mhm.
Gabrielle is saying is during visitation hours, when you have a lot of families in that tent, they will receive phone calls from inside. Before visitation hours, things like that. They can talk to their loved ones, and loved ones are telling them. So it's not just that, like Gabriella is hearing from Martine, that he's saying they're giving us worms. It's so many people now are reporting this, right? From
Mhm.
inside. So that is where all these reports come from. When people say, what's the proof you have? This is where we hear it from, directly from detainees.
Yes, correct. So I was like, can you just bring down my husband? And I keep insisting, can you bring down my husband? Can you bring down my husband? And he just says, oh, you have to stop spreading lies because you are calling attention to something that is not true. Mind you, they're not getting paid enough just to argue with me.
Yeah, yeah. They the working conditions, like this is one of the funnier things that we're hearing now too, is apparently the Geo Group employees have been complaining about their working conditions. They don't like working there. They're upset about their overtime. They're not really satisfied. Ironic. But yeah, like, it apparently it really does suck to work for these places. So beyond them being hellholes, they're not good jobs.
Yeah, they're not. And so I continue, like, and he was like saying, he was just arguing back and forth with me until we both got frustrated. And I said, just bring down my husband. And he just said, whatever, just stop spreading lies. I'll bring down your husband. I said, thank you. So I wait another 20 minutes because he's interrogating my husband upstairs after interrogating me.
Hmm.
So I'm like, what is taking so long? His unit is right above where we are right now. Like, what is taking so long? When he finally comes down, I say, what took you so long? And he's like, he was asking me like a ton of questions, like upstairs. I was like, and we were walking back like to where I like had the seat and everything. And he was like, and then he was like telling me, like, I don't know why he was asking me. I told him to ask you. And I was like, he did talk to me. He's like, he talked to you. And so why did he talk to me? I said, I don't know. So my husband started getting a little bit of that, Jersey vibe inside him.
Oh, I
um,
love see,
so
he's getting it. He's starting to say like, "Hey, what the fuck, buddy? Why are you talking to me? Talking to my wife about it."
and he was like, he stood up and he started calling the guard, and I was like, oh, we doing this, okay. Um, and the guard comes and he says, yes. I was like, and my husband says, translate for me. I said, okay. And then, I translate for him and I was like, why are you interrogating me upstairs if you were just interrogating my wife? And he said, what do you mean I was interrogating your wife? And I was like, oh, wait, oh, hold up. You are not saying that I am lying right in front of my husband. You are not about to talk to me like that.
That's their only
And then,
move. They're like, "Stop lying."
and then he was like, I was like, wait, hold up. Do you want me to call out every person here, visitors and detainees, to tell you that you're the one lying? Because you were talking to me for like 20 minutes. And then he was like, he looked at me, he rolled his eyes, and then he said, just enjoy your visit.
Yo, they
And then
got
and
they
then and
got
then he walked
attitude.
away. I was like, oh. And then my husband was like, I don't think you're lying, but what happened? I said, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know.
They just play games. They play games like they play the strangest games. The guards and the ice guys. It's so strange.
It's
So so these
what
guys.
is
What's that?
Yeah, I was like reading one of the comments. What is GTA?
GTA, libshit centrist benefit as well. He's talking about
Mm.
Okay, yeah. So like the rules, like so they were saying like the 13th Amendment needs to be fixed because this is basically slavery for prisoners, right? GTA said
Yes,
rules need to be updated across the board. They're outdated, racist, and conservatives hate change because they benefit from
they
the
do.
system as it is. So he's
Correct.
also saying that centrists and some of these forms of liberals benefit as well. So like you'll get performative liberal kind of Democrats who might say that they support the abolishment of these concentration camps, but then don't act politically in the best
Mhm.
interest of what we're trying to do here. They are not working for the to pass bills. They're not working to do this stuff because they a lots of times own stock as well in these private prisons, and that is again one of the issues here. Politicians can own stock in these prisons, and that's why we see a lot of this stuff get transferred and moved around. There's a lot of financial motivation for people to keep these
Mhm.
things the way they are. And so that's a big thing we're seeing. And as I'm sure I don't need to explain it to you at all, Gabriella, because you hear from conservatives all the time. I'm sure your comment sections
I
are crazy.
I do, and I find it so funny how Governor Mikey Shiro wanted a picture with me when everything was
Oh,
going hell loose, and I was there just trying to get my husband out.
right.
Like, how are you in the middle of me having a crisis,
You're right,
and
and
you-
you're
and you're
using
and
that.
you're asking for a picture of me? I
Right.
literally told her, if you get my husband out, I'll take a picture with you.
I'm so glad you said that because that was literally the first thought in my head. I'm like, yeah, I'll take a picture for you. It'll cost you one husband. Get him out, and then we'll talk about it. But like, yeah, it's so many people benefit from this stuff, and it's a performance for them when they come out. There's a couple people that I've seen who are bigger names. Like Miss Rachel came out. I thought she was doing good things. She's putting that bill in. Plus, it's always good when we can tell our kids that we're on Miss Rachel's team because they'll be like, I mean, you know how Miss Rachel is with these kids. They love it.
My kids actually don't watch Miss Rachel.
Whoa. But rare case, rare case. You got to tell me. You got to
they
tell me
don't
what they did.
they don't understand English.
Yeah. See, Miss Rachel's got to get in Espanol there. That would be good. She's missing.
But I
She's missing it.
wonder I wonder if I would win a vote if I were to run for New Jersey State Senate.
Oh, let's go, Gabriella. Look, I think you could do well. Like, do you see yourself in politics? Like in the future, is this sort of like fueled you to get maybe
I
more
just
involved that way?
I just want to make change happen. I want to be able to have a safe place. If it was possible to run for president for me, I would, but I can't because apparently you have to be born in the United States to become a president. I really hate these rules. It's
Yeah,
no, not I think. United States is the only country in the world that the Constitution has not been updated once since it has been made.
yeah,
Like,
yes.
constitutions all around the countries, all over the countries, get updated all the time.
Oh, 100%. And like GTA said, it's to the benefit of conservatives and the ruling class that things don't change. And
It is.
to hype you up a little bit, Gabriella, Ajax is saying that he was thinking you should run for some kind of office earlier. And Sinami says, if I could vote for you, I would. I believe Sinami's in the UK, so they can't vote for you. But love all the way from the UK. Like, I know that if you did something in New Jersey, you'd have a lot of people that would support you. And quite frankly,
I
the
I
change we
wish.
need, is people like you who like you approach everything with empathy, but you take no bullshit, you know?
And yeah, I do. And that's the thing. Like, I know that, like, if I were like in like a courtroom with, like, Republicans and trying to like defend or something, I'd be like, I could be like answering, like asking them a question, and if they don't have an answer, I'll be like, oh, okay, so that's a no. Okay, thank you. And
Yeah.
I'll just continue with like my questions. And I could be like, so do you think like this is legal what you're doing? And there's like, so what is your question? Oh, okay, so that's a no. Okay, perfect. Next question.
Let's
Like,
go.
I really, like, that's the thing. I just don't take like BS, because at this point I have so much experience with understanding what these people go through, that if I were to like run for something, the first thing I would do is get ICE out of my state. Get ICE out of my state. Like, you're not gonna terrorize my state. You're not going to harm people in my state, which is something that I think, you know, led to you know those, you know passing,
Yeah.
which is something like I think is just bad. I
You're cutting out just a little bit, Gabriella. I don't know if it's your internet or something, or maybe your phone battery. You might want to check that phone battery too.
Let me see. Can you call me back?
Yeah. I'll call you back on Discord real quick.
Okay.
All right. One sec, guys. Let me get Gabriella back on the horn here. Great conversation. We got to get Gabriella running for president, okay, everybody? Okay, there we go. Okay, yes, Gabriella. We're just saying we're gonna get we're on the Gabriella team. We want you running for president. Oh wait. That's probably my fault. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Okay, now you can hear me. Cool. All right. So yes. Let me get it all set up again. And sharing my screen. Boom. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right, back in action.
Um,
So, like, oh, let me fix
yeah.
your image here. Go ahead. You can go ahead. I'm just gonna fix the way you're showing up on screen.
Okay. Um, so yeah, like, I mean, I think it's just, I feel upset about what happened with Lorenzo, because that's
Let's
what's
talk about that.
that's what's wrong with this country.
Yeah.
Like, we need more politicians. We need people to be passing bills. We need people to be doing something instead of just doing oversight visits. We need people to continue fighting for the people. And I think if I were to like run for any type of office, well, I mean, I think I would like to run for like governor, to one, get Mikey Sherrill out of New Jersey,
Let's go.
which would be amazing. I think I'll take a picture of her once she resigns. Yeah, I'll take a picture
Yo,
of her.
I love the, wait, that would be this already. I'm gonna save this. This is the campaign ad right here. Just like, I'll take a picture with her once she resigns. Boom! Oh my gosh, I love that. No, for real.
Um,
You'd have
but
so
I
many
think,
people.
like, I want to know what, either Senate or governor, what is the most efficient to getting ICE out of my state?
Yeah. Man, that's a
Because
hell of a platform to run on too.
it is,
I
it
mean,
is. But
people
I
would be
have,
with you.
but I would be going to every event. I will be Like as soon as I figure that kind of, things out, I would be like, you know, if you vote for me, I will keep you safe. If you vote for me, ICE is out of New Jersey. If you like, I don't know. I'm
That
thinking of
benefits
slogans.
everybody. That benefits everybody, and I hope people would be able to understand that.
Oh, I just thought of one.
What's
If
that?
you if you if you vote for me, I will be your voice. Hey.
Come on now. I'm gonna cut your videos for you. I can't wait. I can't wait to get this campaign going. But let's talk about Lorenzo real quick, because I want to get your take on that before I keep you here all night, because I could talk to you all night. This is really really great. But
I could too.
let's talk Lorenzo a little bit, because I think this story is incredibly important. I don't think we're going to hear as much about it, and I'd love to hear your take. So I've pulled up an article here from the Houston Chronicle. This is one of their editorials, and we're going to just go through it really quick. We'll skim through it and hear a little bit about what they're saying from Houston. And then I want to talk to you, Gabriella, about how this story resonates with you, and how it's, probably more common than we even
Mhm.
realize, even though we're noticing one happen right here on a national scale. These things
Yes,
happen all the time.
it
So,
does.
so basically, for those of you who don't know, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was murdered by ICE just the other day, just yesterday, actually. So you may not have even heard about this yet, because it's just not being covered as much. And if you're not tapped into like the progressive community, you might not be receiving that news, because it's not really something that's being talked about by in a bipartisan way. So this is how his day went at the beginning of the day. It says he started his day Tuesday, as he did most days, waking at 5 a.m. before the rest of the city. His wife cooked him breakfast, and at 5:50, he kissed her goodbye. He took his lunch in his boots to his white work van, patted his dog, and headed to pick up his construction crew and drive out to the suburbs. So this was somebody who was creating jobs for others as well. Okay? He was on his way to pick up his crew, and about an hour later, he was shot and killed. He was no criminal. He was just on his way to work. He was a hardworking family man. This is what his eldest son has said at a press conference. 52 years old, and he would typically just come home for dinner with his family and enjoy his evenings on his front porch. So, from this perspective here, we are hearing that his wife didn't know what had happened when she called her oldest son at 7 a.m., only that it was bad and it involved ICE. Ronaldo, his son, went to go see what happened. Unfortunately, learned about his father's passing through a Facebook post, and has asked also, we won't be watching any of the footage, because he has asked not to share that around. It's traumatic for him, and he doesn't want that to be shared. So he could tell from his dad's voice from the video that it was him. He went to the hospital, tried to get answers. The police and the hospital did not give him answers. So he had to find out through social media. Um, right off the bat, Gabriella, what has this situation, when you first heard about it, what was your first thought? Was your reaction?
I cried seeing it, and I'm about to start crying right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
How do you just do that? I mean, he um he was not even just a father or a husband. He was also a grandfather, because his oldest son also has a kid.
wow.
Like, how do you you're just you're just so aggressive that you have to kill people. How can you live with that? Like, how can you live with having someone's blood in your conscience? I don't he didn't I saw the video,
Right.
and he didn't do anything, and you're killing people that deserve. He should be at home right now, even a few years from now, being retired, maybe like 10 years, be retired. But no, he didn't even make it.
He didn't get a chance to start, like, even that grandfather journey. You know how our parents change when kids come in, and then our relationship changes with them, and it's like a second thing that you have, and that was stolen from him. You know.
I signed the petition that was going around so that they can do an investigation. As soon as I saw the petition, I was like, wait, no, I'm not like, and I was driving. I like pulled over and I put in my emergency lights and I had to sign it like right there in the middle of a highway.
Oh,
And I wasn't,
incredible.
I didn't even care. Like people, like cars were just honking at me.
When I
Like,
cut when I cut this into a video later, guys, I will put that link in the comments. So if you're watching this in the future, please do sign the petition that I will link down below. Um,
um, also, Mexico made a statement, I think earlier, a couple hours ago, saying that they are going to do a full investigation
Good.
with the United States um DHS to get justice for Lorenzo. And they said that they are taking people away, they are taking their people away and just killing them for no apparent reason, so they are not going to go down without a fight. And they were saying like, we're going to start our investigation with DHS from United States of America, which I was so thrilled to see that, because I was like, it didn't even pass 24 hours and you guys are already, stating that you're going to protect your own people. You don't see that a lot of like countries, going out for their own residents.
Especially against
Um,
the United States.
yeah, because United States is so powerful. So a lot of countries, will not like stand it.
Right. I
But
think
Mexico
that's
doesn't care. Mexico is,
yeah.
going at it.
Mexico's
And I think
president, Claudia Sheinbaum, has seemed to be a
yes.
really positive influence on the way that Mexico has been governed. So I am glad to see that action being taken, because I mean, to me, like okay, this is another thing here. He spent 35 of his 52 years in Houston. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, it really doesn't matter how much amount of time you spend in a place to become like a member of that community. But somebody who spent 35 of his 52 years there is like an absolute integral part of the community. And like it says in this article, when he moved here from Mexico, the Oilers still played in the Astrodome. Beltway 8 hadn't been completed, and the population of the Houston metro was a little over half of what it is today. As a construction worker, Lorenzo helped build that booming metropolis and rebuild a proud city that has endured more hurricanes and 500-year storms than we can keep track of. So the fact is, so many people that are immigrants coming to this country contribute to this society, contribute to this country more than a lot of us people who were born here, quite frankly. I mean, like, what do? I do videos for an orchestra, I do videos here, like, I am not building the actual infrastructure that keeps us moving. And then after building it, being given no thanks, and not even that you're given no thanks, you're getting murdered. You're getting killed. You're being dehumanized. There's simply no reason for this. No criminal history on Lorenzo here at all. So nobody no, I don't want to hear anybody saying, "Oh, criminal this, criminal that." Crimes happen mostly by native-born U.S. citizens.
Yes.
And just do the math. The fact of the matter is, somebody whose immigration status is up for question is not going to go around risking it by committing crimes, okay? Especially somebody like Martin, who's literally just here to work for his family. So, according to the Salgado family, Lorenzo was trying to fix his immigration status, which is an expensive process that usually takes decades. And Gabriella, can you speak to that a little bit? Just like how difficult it is for somebody who's been here for 35 years to even just
It's
become a
really
citizen.
hard.
Yeah,
It it's really hard. Immigration is not an easy process, especially taking it back to the Obama administration.
yeah,
It's just not easy. I mean, yes, we are having mass raids right now because of Trump's great term, but this goes back to before Trump. This
yeah.
goes back to Biden. This goes back to Trump's first term. This goes back to the Obama administration. Actually speaking politically, Obama did more deportations than what Trump is doing right now.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Obama did millions and millions of deportations, and Trump is only in his thousands.
Right.
Um, it's just the fact that now, just Trump is having them self-deport, so it doesn't count as a deportation process.
Right.
If you self-deport, you are voluntarily leaving, but they torture you inside these facilities so much that you just do your self-deportation, which is your voluntary leave. So at that point, Trump is not doing it, but he's a part of it because he is mentally breaking them down so they just go back to their countries. And sometimes they don't even go back to their countries, because I met one guy in the Elizabeth Detention Center. He was here since he was 1 year old. One. He is
Jesus.
30 something years old now, and he got deported to Mexico when he is El Salvadorian.
Jesus.
He got deported when he at 1 year old, bro, 1 year
Yeah,
old.
I know. You don't even know. Like you're an American. You don't know anything else. You
You
just
don't hear
know.
that's your country. That is
Yeah.
your country. He graduated high school here, he graduated college, he paid his taxes. He did everything he had to do, and he got deported.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. His dad was like upset.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine how heartbreaking that would be. I mean, guys,
It's
I hope this is illustrative to a lot of people of how like it really doesn't matter if you're doing the right thing. If you're doing everything the right way, whatever. I mean, for me personally, we're humans, so like I don't give a fuck who comes into the country. What? Why would I ever care? Like we all, most of us on the planet want the same thing, right? We want to have our family, we want to have our friends, and we want to live peacefully. And people don't come don't go somewhere else to try to like be a criminal or something like that. It just doesn't happen. So these people who, I see so many heartless comments. These people aren't American. I don't know who you are to determine that or not. If someone's here for 34 of their 35 years, like, that's the most, I mean, and again, these are the people that contribute to society. As far as I'm concerned, they're more
yeah.
American than me.
They're more American than you, whoever
Yeah,
said that. Because
exactly.
at this point, these people are building your buildings. These
Yes.
people are building your houses. These people are growing your crops, your food. They are giving you what you are sitting on right now, the couch, the
Yes.
bed, whatever the hell you're sitting on right now. Those people made that for you. Immigrants made those shit for you things so that you can be on your ass right now doing a hateful comment. Those people who you call out and say, "Oh, you're not, you should be deported. You're illegal." Those people are doing things that you are not capable of doing. Those people are spending over 12 hours in the sun, in the rain, in the cold, anything, just so that you all are comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
These people sacrifice their health. Are you going to sacrifice your health for your country? No. You're sitting in your ass on an office. So, and these people are out here doing what you can't do. These people should be here because they are the American dream. You want to talk about making America great again? You want to be a part of, the Trump administration? You want to be a part of what else is wrong with this country? Well, let me tell you this. Those people are doing what you can't do. They are more of a man than you are. Women are more of a more hardcore than what you are. Though these people who you are calling dirty, who you are calling whatever names you're calling them, those people are worth 1,000 times more than you and your administration or whatever place you represent, or even this country is so backed up on this Trump administration and these self-deportation acts, or even deportation in general. These people are more worth it than you are. So before you even start talking, Get your facts straight, because no place on earth is more right for you to be in than the place that you give back to. You are here being a part of a country that you are not from, giving to this country. You are providing for this country, and this country is trying to tear you down. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Say it, Gabrielle. I swear to God, we're talking. I'm like, right. I'm like, let's go, let's go. But guys, this is. I mean, this is quite frankly,
what
this
more
is
comments were
truth.
there? Because I can't see.
Just okay. We got hell yeah, preach from Ajax. They're just loving you. But GTA saying Trump is such a clownish, incompetent boob. Every time I think he can't possibly do or say something even more stupid, he always manages to prove me wrong. 100%. Tom says we didn't cross the border. The border crossed us. I have 4 generations of people in Arizona. That goes hard. Lock that one in. Put that one on the campaign trail. We didn't cross the border. The border crossed us.
Yep.
That goes hard. But it's this is the truth, guys, and beyond the physical infrastructure that gets built by immigrants. One thing that you will hear people say all the time is, oh, undocumented immigrants don't pay taxes or whatever. That is also that's also a lie. I mean, because not only are taxes paid through sales tax, all the normal thing that you would expect, but there are undocumented immigrants so dedicated to doing the right thing that they will use an ITN, an independent tax number. This is not a social security number. They will voluntarily pay their federal taxes.
Yes.
Because the
Yes.
IRS doesn't care about you being documented, undocumented, whatever. So we, not only is Social Security subsidized essentially by undocumented immigrants bring in, I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head. I did a video on it. When I cut this again, I'll put it right here. I'll put the nice number there. But it's something like 100 billion in again 100 billion with the B in federal taxes, yearly, yes. Right? While you could also look at what we spend on police misconduct, which is about 5 billion a year, 200 billion. Yeah, thank you, Ajax. 200 billion a year. And then if you look at police misconduct yearly, that's 5.6 billion, something like that. So our literal bad behavior of police, our social security, so much shit is subsidized by the people who come here. So please, if anybody ever gives you like undocumented immigrants don't pay taxes, just know how untrue that is. They do. Yes, this is just something they provide so much for our country, and they do nothing. They don't get Social Security. They pay into it. They don't get it, right? If you're undocumented, you're not going to get Social Security. So, there's all these arguments that are against immigrants. Essentially, every single one of them is wrong, and can be dismantled with just a little bit of looking through the documentation, right? So incredibly important to remember that, guys. So now this is the last thing I want us to cover on before we finish up here. When we saw in Minneapolis Alex Preddy and Renee Good get killed, we saw a lot of protests. We saw a lot of resistance for that, right? Now, I don't think we're going to see the media covering this like we should, but if people want to try to start organizing around what's happened with Lorenzo, do you have any suggestions? Do you know of anything that you're going to be involved in that other people should try to do in their area?
We're there's gonna be an event organized to pay respects for Lorenzo and his family. I think it's this weekend, or I'm not mistaken, next weekend. It's gonna be on a Saturday. I will get that information after we finish the call.
Awesome.
And I, like, personally, because of the fact that I know that Lorenzo and his wife have been together since they were 15 years old,
Yeah.
high school sweethearts and everything. And it's basically the same story that I had with Martin, and it touched me so much. I like I'm capable of just going down there and trying to find his family and just say, how much I am sorry for them.
Wow.
I actually was thinking about talking to my husband um tomorrow. Actually, when I go visit him, I was gonna think about, saying, um you know my idea to go down to Texas and find his family and just say sorry to his wife.
Yeah.
um I don't know how crazy he's gonna be of the idea, because it's a really crazy idea. Not only do I have to buy a plane ticket, but I have to find my way around Houston, which I haven't. Mm, it's gonna be crazy. But if I do
It's
get
gonna be
to, but if I
Texas.
do get to go down there, and if I do, I'm gonna definitely like record every moment and just
Yeah.
make a post about it, because I think people have to understand that this is a real event. This is a real person. This
Yeah.
is this person is may not have legal status, but this person is a US citizen.
Yeah.
This person is a US citizen by heart, by soul, by blood, basically, because he gave his last sweat just to be in this country. I would love to meet his wife and just say I'm sorry,
Yeah.
because I know that she is like as a woman, losing the love of your life. I know it would be so painful for her to even to even be able to speak, or even be able to just do anything.
To wake up.
I would love to speak to her and be with her and just, have her break down, just have let her have a moment of like, you're okay. You're okay. You can talk. You can do something. I want her to feel okay, but I don't know what to do. I mean, I if I had money, I would donate, but I mean, at this point, it's not even donating. It's just being there for them,
I
making a
think
making a voice for this person, because he was so important. He was literally going to work. He was like, I would love to do an action just so that we can pay respects for these people and make this a call to hella reporters, so
yeah.
they know that they are supported from the East Coast.
Right. That would be
It's
I think that would be something that would be so helpful, because being able to see her in person, I think, like you said, you can relate to her. She could relate to you, and to see the strength that you've been developing. I mean, it's like you guys are going through things that I can't even imagine. And
He didn't even get a chance to even be in a detention facility. He didn't even get a chance to even be processed or even do anything. He didn't even make it into the car. He was
he didn't have a
like,
second of being human. They just
dehumanized him. And how, and like, to the ICE officers, or to the ICE agents that did this to him. How can you live with yourself? Like, how can you do that? Like, how do you live with that? Would you like it for someone to shoot your parents? Would you like it for someone to do that to your family? Like, how do you do that to somebody, and how do you live with yourself? Like, it's not even just about that you should feel bad about this. It's like, how the hell am I going to live with myself,
yeah.
that knowing that I physically killed somebody? Like, how do you live with yourself?
There's
How do
something
you
different with them. There's something different with these people.
it just it's they have to really be cold-hearted, but I don't understand. I don't understand how you can just turn away. These are your people. You are Hispanics. These are your people, and you're killing your own people for money.
And
You
it's
are
not
getting you're not getting enough money for your soul to be bought by the freaking devil.
right. there's no money, there's no monetary amount that could do it, but the amount that they are doing it for is unbelievable. And you know, I think when we look at this case and the interesting I think when you confront the ICE agents, like when you're at Delaney Hall and you see them right in front of you, there's something that's different. I mean, a lot of these people are filled with this hate, pure hate against humanity, other
It,
humans. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make
it
any more
doesn't.
sense when you see it in person. Like
It
the
doesn't.
the thing that always will stick with me in whenever we talk with ICE is the combination of how evil and stupid they are at the same time. It is something like, and not even to say stupid in like a funny haha way, genuinely their wickedness is is integrated into um their inability, non-desire to
It's
learn anything.
it's
And
disgusting.
yeah, they're
It's
it's a different kind
disgusting.
of
If
person.
if someone were to pass a bill, if enough states were to pass a bill to, you can be a US president without having to be born in this country, and it gets accepted and it gets approved, that would be the day that I would start my campaign to be president.
Let's go.
Because if because all you need is actually 51% of a bill being passed. I did do my research.
Yeah, that's you're locked in now. That's why I'm all behind you, Gabriella. I go like, oh, she knows her shit. Let's go.
But you need 51% of a bill to be passed in order to have, rights over, the bill to being
Okay.
approved. So we can do a bill, but it's really hard because you have to get a lot of states on board. It's really hard to make it happen. But if we make as much noise as possible of what is happening with Lorenzo, with Renee, with my husband, with Delaney Hall, with Elizabeth Detention Center, with Dilly Detention Center, with
Yeah.
with all these detention centers, if we make enough noise, what senators, what Congress wouldn't be behind this bill to have a US president not have to be born in United States?
Right. And you know what? There's so much opportunity now for us to connect with
Mhm.
each other through the internet like we haven't been able to before. I think there's as we our generations change, right? You and I are part of a younger generation, right? That's coming at like, we
I don't
neither
think
one of
I'm that
us.
young.
No, well, I'm older than you, so
What?
yeah, I'm 32. So, I know. So part of me is goes through and I'm like, I can't believe like Gabriella's tackling all this at 29. I still can't.
28.
28. Oh, sorry. I disrespected with the 9. 2 8. Come on now. But no, yeah, like I think because like my generation, our generation, we're the same generation basically, but as and then the kids younger than us and our kids, right? We're teaching them so different. This world will not be the same in 20 years,
Yes,
and
but that's the thing. There's You see that the history books that we learn in school, that the kids learn in school, is not updated.
it's all wrong.
If
Yes,
if
100%.
it's like they haven't updated in the last 100 years, I think.
Yeah. Well, and
Because
that's
we're learning the same history over and over when
yeah.
there's a lot of new history happening.
Oh yeah.
Like
Well, and a lot of
like
those textbooks lie about the past anyway, too, to
yes,
make America look
yes.
better. And thank God we have the internet now, because I think about when we were kids, and they were
Mhm.
just starting to put computers in school every once in a while.
I
You
remember that.
you might have typing class. That was what we had. We had typing class. So it wasn't even like you were learning how to use the internet because the internet still sucked at the time. But now we can communicate,
Hmm.
even what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Cinnamie is from Canada listening to us in New Jersey listening to an immigrant's actual lived experience, so that we can learn about this in a way that the school never even gave us an opportunity to
Of
do.
course.
Because, like you
But that's the
said,
thing.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
continue.
No, I was gonna say, like you said, this stuff has gone back to the Obama administration, but like it's not like these things are presented that way, you know?
Obama's not even in the history books, and
Right,
he had a long term.
right, right. And
So,
he's done a lot
if
of bad things himself, like in that way, where we should deconstruct it now, especially as us who are more politically
exactly.
aware, and we
But
want to
that's
change
the
this world.
but that's the thing. In order to even update the history books, we need to have a whole new administration,
Yeah,
because the administration right now is not going to update any history books, because it's all bad. It's all deconstructed. It's all like they're, at least before, they could have wiggled a couple details in
but you
order
talk
to
to your
make
teacher.
history.
I feel like we could talk to our teachers, and like there was always
Yes.
some teachers who were more dedicated to, like, being like, this is what the book is saying here, but like, we were kind of the genocidal maniacs of the whole Indian
Yes.
American, of everything that
Yes.
went on there. We're founded on genocide. Um, so like these things, I think, like you said, the Trump administration, they rely on these things. These are the old things that they rely on, that they don't want these bag of tricks to go away. But like, gosh, I just want to wrap this up by saying, Gabriella, I would really love to see you run for anything in New Jersey here. Like, you would have all our support, and I think we need more people like you who are just like empathetic. I don't want to say radically empathetic, because I don't think it should be radical to be empathetic, but like at this point in time, that's what it feels like, right? It requires radical empathy. It requires us to focus on actually bettering things for our children, right?
Of
Because
course.
that's how they grow into our next generation that can help. We have a planet to pass on
Of
to them.
course.
We have a lot to pass on to them, and I appreciate everything you're doing, because you're making the world a better place as you're going through one of the most unimaginably hard times of your life. So again, guys, before we wrap, I just want to solicit you all to please sign Martin's petition, send it around. Please
We are
do.
like less than 500 signatures away. Please, please,
Less than
please.
500. And guys, really quick, also before Gabriella goes, I just want to show you everything for the letters that we're going to write here, okay? And I'm just going to show you, we're going to just talk really quick about like what the guidelines are here, okay? So Gabriella could use some letters right now for Martin, okay? Do you know
A
about how
little bit
long
over
these?
200, please.
A little bit over 200. Yeah, we're gonna crank these out. We're gonna send it all around, and we're gonna ask everybody we can. About how long does it have to be? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter, as long
Okay.
as it's genuine and it comes from your heart. Um, but nothing with him getting kidnapped from getting diapers, because all of that is
Yes.
propaganda. All of that is on the news. So when we present that to ICE, they're just gonna say, "Oh, this person, is not a real is not a real support letter. This person just knows it because of the news." So that's why we're
Exactly.
trying to make it as real as possible, so they can really consider, because
Yeah.
one thing one thing I want to say is that they're asking for 10,000 signatures, right? But we all know that ICE is never gonna entirely 100% play fair.
Right.
So we want a backup plan. We want a plan A, plan B, plan C. So we're going with with the signatures, with the petition. We are going with support letters. We are going with my taxes all the way back from when I was 18.
Literally
We
everything to
are,
say this is a good family who's been nothing but con- uh, contrib-
because they're going
contributions.
to, exactly, because they're going to be like, okay, let you have the petitions, but do you have any support letters? Oh, no, we don't, but you just asked for the petitions. Okay, but I mean, if he was like important, then he would have support letters. They're going to try to play any kind of
Any angle.
game.
So we want to have
So
all the bases covered, so that when they try to say, well, do you have this? We do have that, right? So
yes.
a couple
And
things
my
here, guys.
son just woke up, so if you want to say hi.
Hi. Hey, Noah. Good to see you. You're such a cutie. Hi. How you doing, buddy? You got the little toddler face going. I love that.
Oh.
You're so cute. He loves his mama. Okay, guys, we'll let you be able to get your sleep and all that. So, really quick, I'll just wrap up here, guys. Here I put in the chat, okay, a link, and for anybody who's watching this in the future, okay, it's in the pinned comment, okay? Um, it's a Google Drive folder that has two things in it. It has this guide for the support letters that tells you that the letters have to be personal. They're looking for people who know Gabby or Martin. And what do you know? You just met Gabriella tonight. So now you know Gabriella.
And
Um,
even if you don't personally know me or my husband, you can be as vague as possible in the letters and just be like, I met the Soto family in an event. You don't have to
yes.
specify what event and then just change it to their character, which is
Boom.
hardworking, and whatever. As long as you don't give so much reason, that you don't know us, because the support letter is obviously people that know
Right.
you.
Now, to help
So
out, we went over a lot tonight, right? We went over a lot of Gabriella and Martin's story. So, also in this Google Drive folder for you all is a handy synopsis of their meeting, everything, okay? 10 pages of the meet cute, of everything, of he's an amazing cook, great dad, all this amazing stuff, okay? So everything you need is right in here. And when I write my letter of support, which I will do later tonight or tomorrow morning, I will drop it in the Discord for you guys so you can see what I've written and you can get an idea of what we're gonna do there. So please do write a letter of support, and I will help you guys out as we do this. And yeah,
can I say one more thing before we close off?
of course, you could say anything you want.
Um, if you guys can please spread it as far and wide as possible. My Venmo, I have I need a little bit over $2,000 by today in order to pay for childcare, a car accident that I had, um, my car loan, and just a lot of other bills in general this week. And every week I need to have $1,000 at least, because every week is a different account, which is why my husband was the main provider, because the little jobs that I made, I only did it for food and for gas and for little bills. But
That's right.
right now it's just me and two kids, and it's really hard. I can't even find a decent job because I'm pregnant and I'm 6 months pregnant. They don't want to give me a job.
Yeah. So
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 if
Gabrielle's in a really
please,
tight spot. Please.
I've raised like 500 or so dollars this week, but at most by 10 a.m. I need a little bit over $2,000.
Yeah.
Um, and it's every Friday that I need to pay for everything, because if not, then the children don't get childcare for the next week.
So
Um,
essentially, guys, to give you some background on that too, what Gabriella has to do right now is the kids go to childcare, and Gabriella has to go out to the Elizabeth Detention Center to spend her time trying to get Martin out, trying to spend her time with that very small window of visitation that she has with him. So she's been trying to work with her babysitter, who has been understanding, but of course, up to a point, it's very difficult to be able to keep providing the services for free. And Gabriella is doing a really great thing trying to keep her kids away from the detention centers as much as possible. As it's been a very, very difficult emotional strain on especially her daughter Vero. So this all goes to help maintain her life as she tries to go through this, as we try to get Martine out so that Gabriella can have some support as she goes through her pregnancy, because she's essentially been alone for this whole pregnancy. Uh,
I have
Martine
I
was taken just after the pregnancy began. So this, if any of you are familiar with the pregnancy journey, it's a difficult one. I'm of course saying this as a man. I've only watched somebody go through. I've only watched my wife go through it, so I'm saying it's difficult. And Gabriella's probably like, oh, I need you to shut the fuck up right now. But like you know how hard of a time it is if it's something you've been through, and to do it without support is hard enough. But then to do it while you're going through one of the most tumultuous times of your life, I can't even imagine. So please, if you have it within your ability to contribute, please do contribute to Gabriella, and we will continue fighting for Martin. And Gabriella, I'm sure will be around to chat with us from time to time as we fight to continue this. But Gabriella, I really want to thank you for coming on. Is there anything you wanna end with before we wrap up?
I think all I can really say is we are together as a community, and we have to stand strong, and we have to stay together. I think right now is the time that we do so, because it's one bad thing after another in every state, not just New Jersey. And we have to continue fighting together as the power of the people, because we have to show the administration that we are not backing down and that we are not scared. Even though, yes, deep down we are scared, we can't show them fear. We have to show them that we are serious. We have to be strong for these people, because these people are innocent. They are getting taken just for no reason. They are getting de- dehumanized from their own due process. That we need to be a voice for these people. And right now, the only thing that we can physically do is just stand by them. If you don't go to a detention center, find your closest one, and just just stay there and find a way to help. Even though there's not a white tent in every detention center, maybe connect with organizations that do immigration, and get the ball rolling. Be the next generation that helps out these detention centers, these detainees inside these detention centers. It's not that hard to connect with just organizations. There's organizations in every state. Take just 1 hour of your day just to find one, and just to find a way to help, even if it's just volunteer. It's it's the best thing. It's the least thing that we can do for these people that are giving so much to our country.
Well said. Thank you, Gabriella. And I'll leave it on this. Ajax in the chat just said this. Thanks for coming on the live stream. Stay safe. You're a national treasure and great choice in glasses. so so we got fans of the frames there. We love that. All right, Gabriella. Thank you so much. I'll talk with you over the next few days and everything. And yeah, thank you for sharing your time with us, and being so generous with sharing your story.
Thank you so much.
All right, Gabriella, you have a great night, okay? Bye-bye.
Have a great night. Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your night listening to Gabriella's story. She's an incredible person. Working with her has been incredible, and it's really changed my life, just in the way I see the strength coming out of people through some of the most insane shit that I couldn't imagine going through myself. So thank you guys so much for joining. Again, sign the petition, please. Please donate if you can. If you can't donate, please spread the Venmo link around. Okay, I'll drop these links in the mutual aid section of the Discord as well, so you guys have them. If you ever have any questions for Gabriella, please let me know. I will be more than happy to talk to her. I see her all the time now, just helping her do all sorts of things. The other day, we helped just move some boxes to a new place, because everything is a challenge right now, as you can see. So yeah, if you can share far and wide, please help, and I will continue updating you guys on what goes on with Martine. Let's see where we're at with signatures. 9,597 there. 9,624. We are very close, guys. 376 more signatures to go. And we will also talk next week, or not next week, but I'll talk to you guys in the Discord about how to do the letters. I'll send my letter in the Discord as well. So if you guys have that, you can please help out with that. But guys, thank you so much for listening to Gabriella and taking a moment to hear this person's incredible story, and to get a little bit of perspective on the immigrant experience here in America, because it's brutal for no reason, and we're dealing with some of the best people among us, as you can see. So that's really all I can add to it, is just, if you want to help, these are the people that we should be trying to help. So thank you guys for coming out tonight. I will see you on the next one. Have a good night. Peace.